at sipirish.com. Follow Stout on Facebook and Instagram at Stout Bar and Grill, and follow Clonakilty on Twitter at Clon Distillery and on Instagram at Clonakilty Distillery USA. We will see you tomorrow at Stout Bar and Grill from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. or go out there to watch the Inter-Miami game, baby. Stout Bar and Grill.
This has been the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat Report with Ira Winderman. Visit Craig's Inn Acura at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines. Come experience the dealership that has earned Dealer Rater's Consumer Satisfaction Award in 2020. Acura of Pembroke Pines is creating the oasis you deserve. This is how we do it.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
Whoa!
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo!
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of Inter-Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter-Miami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
Inter-Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter-Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter-Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of Onside Radio ownership, management, sponsors, website, or Inter-Miami Marketing, LLC. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yes! Oh, it is. It is! Man of the Match with Alex Dono. Oh, I'm Alex Dono. And I'm with you guys for the next 3 hours here on OnsideRadio.com. It's not necessarily going to be a happy 3 hours. It's not necessarily going to be a miserable 3 hours either, man, because I like to live in the present. I like to look to the future. There's nothing we can do to change the past. There's nothing you or I or Alex Aguirre can do to change the travesty that happened last night at the American Airlines Arena. You know, after Game 2, I told you the series was finished, that the Heat were not going to come back and beat the Bucks. So even though I didn't think the Heat were going to win, 4 out of the next 5 games against a Milwaukee Bucks team that has gotten better and a Heat team that's gotten at least a little bit worse, but I did think we would win last night. I did think the Heat were going to pull within a game and make it a little bit interesting. Instead, you got a lot of the same last night as you got 3 nights prior to that in Milwaukee, and that's really disappointing. 113-84, the final score. The Bucks take the commanding 3-0 lead against the Heat. How many points did Trevor Ariza score last night? Same as me for the second straight game. The Heat, I hope you enjoyed the first few seconds of that game because Miami, they led at home against the Milwaukee Bucks for a total of 17 seconds in the basketball game. 2-0 lead. That was it. And, you may have heard this stat. I'll expand on it a little bit. You're probably aware, although I did have a conversation yesterday with somebody that I thought would have known this, but he didn't. I guess, he was thinking of hockey and baseball. Didn't realize this has never happened before in the NBA. You're probably aware no team in the history of the NBA playoffs has come back from down 3-0 to win a series. But here's the exact number. NBA teams who take a 3-0 lead in a postseason series are 140-0 in closing out said series. That doesn't mean every time is a sweep, but no team has ever come back down 0-3, and the teams that go up 3-0 are 140-0 in those playoff series. And I don't think this is going to be a situation where the Bucks mess around with us. They're going to go for the jugular in Game 4. Like they're going to try to finish this thing because they want as much rest as possible before, facing likely Brooklyn. So Milwaukee is not going to play with their food and say, yeah, maybe we'll kind of take the night off in Game 4 and let the Heat win one. We're not going to overexert ourselves. No, I think you can expect more of the same. They'll be laying down those ass whoopings to their maximum effects in Game 4, and we're in big trouble. And even last night, I really thought being at home at the American Airlines Arena, in front of the biggest crowd the NBA has seen since prior to the pandemic, that the Heat would have had some life, some spark, some fight. But no, they looked tired. They looked lifeless in a must-win game in front of their home fans. They had no sense of urgency at any point in that basketball game. And, everyone they sounded defeatist. And I know, Jimmy Butler after the game is saying something along the lines of, well, hey, listen, it wasn't unexpected to be here and it happens in basketball. We're going to fight in the next game. Like, God, I hope so. I mean, at this point, you're just prolonging your misery, if anything. There are so many ways to watch us, so many ways to get involved and interact with the show. We're on YouTube. We are streaming live now. Hello to anyone who's popping into the live stream. Just go to youtube.com, search for Onside Radio. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, by the way. That way you can not only help us grow by boosting the subscriber count, but anytime we go live, you'll see it. Turn the alerts on. And when you watch us live, we stream from the early morning with Toast from 8 to 10 a.m., Kai Chen Chisholm on Kai's Corner, 10 a.m. Big O's back. Man, it was great hearing Big O back. It was great hearing Big O back in the hot seat. And honestly, I think when they took that polyp out of his throat, he must have passed through the fountain of youth because I honestly thought he sounded younger. Like, I guess removing that polyp, like, he sounds like he's 30 again, man. He's rocking and rolling. And he says he was holding a little something back. Like he said, he was on for 2 hours live because the doctor, what do these doctors know? I mean, doctors have performed surgeries on Victor Oladipo and said he's good to go. Like, what did doctors really know at the end of the day? Remember the doctor who worked on Ryan Tannehill? Like, he's fine. And then he blew out the knee. Actually, you know what? That was the opposite. I think the doctor said we need to give this guy surgery, and Tannehill was the one who said, so ignore that point. Sometimes doctors know what they're talking about, but how many doctors have worked on Victor Oladipo and said, yeah, he's good to go? And then, 3 months later, he's back on the injured list. But no, claims he was holding something back today. But he sounded like a young man. He sounded like he's back to his fighting weights. It was fantastic hearing him back on the air. So, when you watch us live on YouTube, hit the like button, the thumbs up, and partake in the chat. We have the live chat room, which is really fun. I'm interactive with it. I'm chatting with everybody. I'll type in messages during the breaks. I'll read some of the messages on the air. So we have a good time keeping it interactive, my friends. And you can also listen to us not only live at onsideradio.com, hit the listen live button, but there's a number of different free mobile apps where you can get us. Radio.net app, Radio FM app, MyTuner Radio app, Podbean, Simple Radio. You can't avoid us. We are inevitable. We are everywhere. You can take us anywhere. When you use one of the mobile apps, I was listening this morning on the Radio FM app, and if you have Bluetooth capabilities in your car, You turn on the Bluetooth and you play Onside Radio right through your car speakers, and it sounds fantastic. It sounds way better than AM radio, for example. I am broadcasting live, as we do every single day, inside Drive Pink Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, the home of Inter Miami. And I feel some buzz in this building today. There's a lot of staffers who are here, a lot of preparations, because tomorrow is, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, one of the biggest days in the history of this franchise, Inter Miami. One of the biggest days in the history of Inter Miami CF, because for the first time ever, Drive Pink Stadium, formerly Inter Miami CF Stadium, is going to be hosting a capacity crowd, about 18,000 strong here. First time in the history of this building, because the building happened to open right after the pandemic started. So we had several months of empty stadium games. We've had a few months recently of, partial crowds allowed. We finally can go full capacity tomorrow. And I've been looking forward to this for 16 months now, going back to March of last year, because I had tickets to go to that first home game, the home opener that was postponed, canceled due to the pandemic. So I've been waiting. I have been waiting for a capacity crowd here at Drive Pink Stadium for well over a year. And we finally get to realize that dream tomorrow. So listen, anyone listening, if you have tickets already, or if you're trying to get them, you may have to get them at the secondary market at this point. But if you can find a way in the building tomorrow, it's going to be a party. Like, it is going to be so cool, because we've only ever had like the limited energy in here. The supporters groups have been here, for months, and they always bring it strong, behind the baseline, and they're always drumming, and they're dancing, and they're singing the entire game, and they're setting off the little smoke bombs with the pink and black smoke. So the supporters groups have been bringing that energy for months. We're finally going to have the capability to have every single seat full in this building. So if you can find a way in here tomorrow, I am looking forward to meeting some listeners, some of our viewers, some of the people who have been Onside Radio fans. And it's an 8 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. I'd recommend getting here as early as you can, because I'm sure there's going to be some good tailgating going on, and I'm sure there's going to be some opportunities to have fun and sing with the supporters. And let's make it a night tomorrow night that we will not soon forget, because it really is making history for this franchise to have full capacity crowd for the first time. Got a fun show planned today between 3 and 6 p.m. 3:35 p.m., we're going to talk some Dolphins and Canes football with Jakari Givens from the Sixth Ring on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. God, he brings it so strong with his perspective. I got to ask him at what point you have to start worrying a little bit about the class of 2022 for the Miami Hurricanes recruiting. We'll talk a little bit with him about what Tua had to say midweek. 4:20, about last night, we're going to talk with Alphonse Sidney from Hangover Time. He's going to join us at 4:20 to talk about another Miami Heat debacle last night. At 5:20, we're going to talk some Bucks Heat, some soccer, and some food with Frank Crivello from the Serie A sit-down. Speaking of food, bros, we are going to get into it this hour. Going to open it up for Foodie Friday here on OnSideRadio.com. Today is National Burger Day. You know how every day now is a social media holiday? Like, every single day is bookmarked as some kind of a social media holiday. There's National Hot Dog Day. There's National Talk Like a Pirate Day. There's National Sibling Day. A lot of these national days I couldn't care less about. But when I see today National Burger Day trending, that gets me excited. That gets me really excited. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through, and I want nominations. I want them on the text line at 844-416-8123, 844-416-8123. I want them in the YouTube chat. What are your top burger toppings? That could be veggies. That could be cheeses. That could be sauces and condiments. Build me your perfect burger. What are the best burger toppings? We're going to get into that throughout the show today here on Foodie Friday, because a day like National Burger Day is not going to go uncelebrated by someone like me, because I have a fond appreciation of hamburgers, my friend. I absolutely love them. I absolutely love them. So seeing that it's basically a formality that this series is about to come to an end for the Miami Heat, that this season is about to come to an end for the Miami Heat. I can't help but ask this question. Did this Miami Heat team let down Pat Riley? Or did Pat Riley let down this Miami Heat team? So, yeah, you had a squad, not the exact squad, but a very similar roster that ran through the Eastern Conference last year. The Bubble Magic, right? They made a run to the NBA Finals, were tremendous the way that they, eliminated teams like Milwaukee last year and like Boston, who they weren't supposed to beat. It was a real incredible run through the Eastern Conference, and they actually took 2 games from the mighty Lakers in the NBA Finals last year. And so Pat Riley made the decision with a few tweaks, I want to run it back. That I believe in this group, I believe in this core, I believe in, for the most part, the supporting cast, and I want to run it back from last year. The results this year were a lot different than last year. The regular season was a little worse. The playoffs have been a lot worse. So I'll ask the question again. Did this Miami Heat team let down Pat Riley, or did Pat Riley let down this Miami Heat team? Honestly, and I know that I received a tweet from one of our listeners saying that un poquito of each, I would say, a little bit of both, if I translated that correctly. Sure, but if I'm going to assign a pie chart, I put more of that blame on Pat Riley. If you say, did this team let Pat down or did Pat let this team down? I put more of the blame on Riley. Pat Riley swung and missed on Giannis Antetokounmpo last offseason. And you could say, well, listen, Giannis stayed home. We couldn't supermax him the way Milwaukee could. Pat Riley tried. Pat Riley took his shot. He swung and he missed. And part of taking that shot was letting Jay Crowder walk in order to make room for Giannis. So you made roster decisions in anticipation of Giannis Antetokounmpo. You didn't land him. That's a failure on multiple fronts, okay? Now, a guy that Pat Riley, unlike Jay Crowder, a guy that Pat Riley did take care of and give an extension to, let's not forget, is Myers Leonard. Yeah, how did that work out? Dear God, it didn't work out very well, okay? So listen, I'm not going to blame Pat for what Myers said, but that one blew up in all of our faces, okay? Are you considering this an old man rant? Oh, no! I've got the old man rant music playing. All right, listen, I'll trust Alex Aguirre's judgment on that. I guess this is an old man rant. So Pat Riley did take care of Myers Leonard and not Jay Crowder. Whoops. Pat Riley gave a max extension to Bam Adebayo. I'm starting to have questions about that, guys. I like Bam, but I'm starting to have questions if the no ceiling nickname still applies, because we might be seeing signs of that ceiling. The guy's got to drink some Cuban coffee or something. And the things that really bug me about Riley. Gave up, Riley. He gave up on a James Harden trade because he didn't want to give up Tyler Hero. What exactly has Tyler Hero done this season to earn that faith? He's got his own Chipotle bowl. He's got his own cereal. He gave up on pursuit of one of the best players in this league in James Harden because he wanted to keep his sixth man, Tyler Hero. And the crazy thing about it is so many Heat fans were on board with that. Oh, we love Tyler. Oh, yeah, Tyler Hero, future superstar. I don't want James Harden. He's fat. James Harden, he's a cancer in the locker room. I don't want that guy with my team. Can you at least admit you're wrong? You know, my heart was so warmed today. I received a tweet from our listener, and God bless you. I received a tweet from Jesse Lockhart, who actually gave me credit for wanting James Harden when Harden was available. He actually gave me credit for that, and he admitted he was wrong because Jesse was one of those Heat fans who was drinking the Tyler Hero Kool-Aid. I got to have Tyler Hero. I don't want the fat James Harden. No, he's going to come here and be terrible. James Harden can't adapt to Heat culture. I don't want you don't want one of the best players the game has seen in a generation. You don't want that guy here because you want to protect Tyler Hero. How's that working out now? And fans were wrong about that. Pat was wrong about that as well. And now, by the way, today, I hear Ira say, and Ira did a fantastic job with Big O. Ira said that everyone on this roster, not named Bam and Jimmy, are expendable. Everyone else on the roster are expendable because every time the Heat really fail hard in the postseason, Riley likes to blow it up, right? You remember he blew it up. The year after the Heat won their first championship, they won in 2006, and then in 2007, they laid an egg. They got swept by the Chicago Bulls in the playoffs, and it was incredibly humiliating. And then Riley blew up that team after that, right? And Ira thinks Riley's going to do the same thing, that there's going to be a lot of sign and trades coming this summer. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces, and only Jimmy and Bam are untouchable, and everyone else is expendable. And if that ends up coming to pass, that's proving my point for me. Because if Riley ends up blowing it up and only keeping potentially 2 members of the core, then right there, that's admitting Pat Riley let this Heat team down more so than they let him down. That it was Riley's job to evolve and adapt this roster to be better than they were a year ago, and he got complacent. Riley fell for the bubble, and the bubble popped. The bubble burst. So I'm putting more of this blame on Riley. And, listen, and everybody, and I'll admit, I admit when I'm right, I admit when I'm wrong. When they pulled off that trade deadline move for Victor Oladipo, and again, this is something I know Riley couldn't necessarily predict, that Victor would have such a little impact before being out for the year. But if you know his injury history, maybe he should have predicted this. But we're all praising Riley. Oh, he got Victor Oladipo for essentially nothing. Oh, this is such a masterful move. Well, yeah, how did that work out? The guy plays 3 games, and then he's out potentially for the next year and a half, and we'll probably never see him again in a Heat uniform. So this is on Pat. This is on Pat to me, that he and so many of you were fooled by what you saw in the bubble last year, and you said, oh, if we just run this team back, Spoelstra is working some kind of magic, and we've just run this back, we're going to be in the finals every year. What a disappearing act. What a disappointment. What a shame. What a travesty. Pat Riley broke it. He's got to fix it. And the good news is I have faith that Riley can fix it. I know that it's a huge miscalculation on Pat Riley. Maybe now he's going to have the motivation he needs to go out and get Kawhi Leonard, because somebody like that can help you fix it really quickly. So Pat Riley broke it. I'm going to give him the chance to put the pieces back together. I will give him that opportunity. Riley has done it several times before. I believe he's still capable of pulling off some amazing, amazing feats in free agency, and we've got the Andy Ellisberg with the cap gymnastics to make it work somehow. So you broke it. You now have to fix it, sir. 844-416-8123 is how you get in. You are listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Listen to OnSideRadio.com anywhere by downloading the MyTuner Radio app in your app store. Or go to MyTunerRadio.com on your web browser. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida sports leader.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodyAsDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moody-Ass family. Dr. Moody-Ass is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodyAsDental.com.
At OnSideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
It was a fun season, but as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. The Panthers put up a good fight in forcing a Game 6, but that was as far as they would get, as the defending champion Tampa Bay Lightning knocked out the Cats with Wednesday's 4-0 win. Rookie goaltender Spencer Knight did what he could to keep Florida in the game, stopping 20 shots, including several point-blank opportunities during the first 2 periods, but it was Tampa goalie Andrei Vasilevsky that stole the show. The likely Vezina Trophy finalist was a brick wall, stopping everything the Panthers threw his way and frustrating the Cats at every turn. Now Tampa will move on to face the winner of the Carolina-Nashville series, while Florida will head back to Sunrise, clean out their lockers, and head into the offseason wondering what could have been.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, welcome back in. Man of the Match here on Onside Radio. In about 13 minutes, we're going to talk with Jakari Givens from the 5 Reasons Sports Network, The Sixth Ring. Get his take on some of the latest Dolphins happenings and an outlook for the Miami Hurricane season coming up. You know, I want to get Jakari's opinion on, Tua Tagovailoa, admitting that he wasn't working with the whole playbook like Fitz was last year. But the twist was Tua wasn't blaming Old Man Chan on that. And I every time I use that term, I got to credit Kai Chen Chisholm because I don't want to steal his I don't know if he made that term up, but the first time I ever heard someone say Old Man Chan, it was from Kai on Kai's Corner. So I owe that man a debt of gratitude because it's brilliant. But Tua wasn't blaming Old Man Chan for it. Like, Tua actually ended up blaming himself. Like, hey, I didn't really do enough to understand the playbook and be prepared, and it's on me. You'd expect a humble guy like Tua to put the blame on himself, and I like that. But today, my friends, I want to observe and I want to celebrate this the way that I would celebrate any major holiday, right? I'm a huge fan of Christmas, New Year's, Easter, 4th of July. I'm all about those holidays. I wake up this morning and I see National Burger Day trending. And this is right up there, maybe a half step below Christmas for me. It's National Burger Day. And I want Alex Aguirre's take on something. I want you guys' take. You can chat with us live on YouTube or text us at 844-416-8123. What are your favorite burger toppings? I made a top 5 list, okay? I made a top 5 list of my favorite burger toppings. And you know what? For the most part, I didn't go that crazy here. I didn't. Now, I got some good replies on Twitter today. People writing in things like chilies and jalapenos and like guacamole. And, listen, I can tolerate some of those things on my burger. I'm feeling a little bit adventurous. I've eaten burgers with guacamole on them before, but I tend to stay true to some of the staples, okay? And if I'm going to later today celebrate National Burger Day with a burger, I'm going to have a combination of these top 5 toppings here. Now, a couple of these can't necessarily coexist on the same burger, so I'm going to give you my top 5 burger toppings, and then I'm going to give you the breakdown of what my ideal burger is with just toppings on there, okay? So best burger toppings. I'll start with number 5. And I'll work my way up to my number 1, okay? My number 5. I obviously, like most Americans, I love cheese on a burger. I don't know how people eat like a hamburger without any cheese. If you're lactose intolerant, I feel terrible for you. Your life is awful if you're lactose intolerant. I'm a big fan of pepper jack cheese. Pepper jack is one of my go-tos. I'm a passionate, fiery guy. Like a little flavor, like a little spice on it. A little pepper jack cheese is going to kick it up a notch for me. That's number 5. Number 4, This is putting this on a burger. It's American as apple pie on the 4th of July, okay? It's as American as, like, knocking down, like, a Bud Light at a baseball game, how American this is. I like bacon on a burger. I like it. Now, it kind of depends on the whole toppings mix, but very few times am I going to look at a burger menu and I'm going to see bacon as one of the toppings. Very seldom will I say, no, I don't want that today. No, bacon to me is a staple. I mean, think about the bacon cheeseburger. You know, for all the Wendy's drive-thru fans, the Baconator. Like, bacon, to me, it's a food you can almost never go wrong with. Now, I don't really co-sign on the people who try to turn bacon into a dessert item. You're getting a little too crazy. Like, I don't need, like, a milkshake with bacon or even a martini with bacon. It's a little bit too far. But when it comes to bacon on a burger, yes. Wholeheartedly, yes. Okay? Number 3. There are a number of different methods I could go on this one, but I am a huge fan. I get very excited when I'm looking at burger toppings, and I see fried onion as an option, especially when it's like the little onion strings. Now, if they put like a burger with an onion ring on it, I don't mind that either. I like that, but fried onion to me, and I'm a big fan of sautéed onions as well. But I give the edge to fried onion. That's my number 3. I think fried onion is an excellent, excellent burger topping. So, okay, now we're really getting into the elite of the elites, okay? My number 2 favorite burger topping. Now, this could be a little bit different, and it might be called something a little bit different and have a slightly unique flavor depending on where you go. But special sauce, a.k.a. secret sauce. It's usually some variation of Thousand Island, right? I mean, like In-N-Out Burger has the sauce that comes with the animal style. Like Big Mac sauce at McDonald's. Like you get it when you get that like pink Thousand Island type of sauce. That is always a welcomed addition on a burger. You get, whether you call it secret sauce or special sauce, that to me is one of the essentials on a burger. Like there's a place right down the street from my house called Mooyah, and they have what they call Mooyah sauce, which is like a variation of that. It's like the Thousand Island type of special sauce, and I can't get enough of it. I would bathe in it if it was socially acceptable. So that brings me to number 1. Now this is where I'm going to lose some folks, okay? And on a day like today, I'm really relieved that I'm sitting 7 feet away from Alex Aguirre and not Tito Benach, because Tito would pitch a fit if I told him this in person. And he may listen back to this and screw you, Tito. But my number 1 burger topping, and this is not all that conventional. You can see this pop up time and time again. Blue cheese. There's something about a nice blue cheese crumble, and I would take that even over pepper jack cheese. Now, I mentioned pepper jack is one of my favorite burger toppings, and I wouldn't necessarily put the two of them together on the same burger, but I love it when you're at a burger joint and you have the option of blue cheese as your cheese, because there's something about, you know, like the tart flavor that comes on blue cheese, and I think it complements the beef very well. I'm a huge fan. So if I'm building my perfect burger, I'm going to have it on like a nice, what kind of a bun would I like? For certain types of sandwiches, I like a ciabatta bun, but that doesn't really go with burger because it's a little bit like too hard. Like, I don't know, I like a good like traditional, like a brioche bun. Like I like a good brioche bun with some, you know, perfectly cooked beef in the middle, of course, for the actual burger, and then the toppings. I like some blue cheese in there. I like some fried onion strings, and I like some of that secret sauce. Like that to me, oh, chef's kiss. Oh, so good. You got any input on this, Alex? Favorite burger toppings? Are you a big burger fan? Don't tell me you're a vegan.
No, I'm not. I'm not a vegan.
Good.
I'm glad you mentioned like different, like the blue cheese and different sauces and stuff, because I like using a Chipotle Southwest sauce.
That's good too. Yeah.
For my burger, because I don't like it too spicy. So like I love pepper jack cheese, but I don't really like putting them both together because I don't really handle spicy and like a lot of stuff with like a lot of kick like that very well. Okay. So I got to choose one or the other, but I do need cheese. Do need cheese in the burger, so I'll probably choose provolone then.
Yeah, not a bad call.
I like provolone. But pepper jack is a solid choice as well. Anything onions, like with onions,
Yes.
any form of it, I don't care. That I'll put that in my burger because I love onions. So that's 3 right there. You can't go wrong with bacon. I'm okay with. I'm not opposed to it. Bacon, like if I'm in the mood for it, I'll have it. If it's like if they don't have one with bacon, it's not a big deal for me. And I'm a big traditional in the sense of lettuce and tomato.
Yeah, lettuce and tomato. It's like I wasn't gonna put it in a top 5 list only because it's so basic, but I appreciate when it's on there.
Yes.
And I'm actually, especially tomato, I'm a huge tomato fan.
Same here.
That's the reason why I can never go on the TB12 diet, because Tom Brady doesn't eat tomatoes. So
really? Oh, man.
I don't want to look like him if it means not eating tomatoes. But no, I'm a huge tomato fan.
Yeah, and then, like, I don't know. This is not for me, but, like, how do you feel about when people say ketchup is one of my favorite toppings?
They're 5, or they have the taste buds of a 5-year-old.
Okay.
Is that one of your favorites?
Not at all.
Okay,
because I was going to say, like, and also I forgot who was on the show last week with you. I think it was Clay that talked about like how he encountered pink sauce.
I love pink sauce, actually. I love mayo.
Would you put that on a burger?
Not just pink sauce. Yeah, I would. I mean, to me, like the secret sauce is a little bit more sophisticated because it's like a Thousand Island, which I think there's mayo in there. I think it's one of the ingredients. But so straight up pink sauce is a little bit basic. But I like mayo, so I actually prefer pink sauce over straight up ketchup, though. To answer your question.
And I don't mind pickles sometimes in my burgers.
Yeah, pickles I'm not really a fan of, but it's a personal preference.
Right. But yeah, those are pretty much some of the toppings that I'll probably mess with if I was going to get a burger. I'm more traditional in that sense, like cheese, lettuce, tomatoes. I'll mix it up with the sauces, and if you throw in the bacon in there, why not? Like, there you go. But onions is a must as well. I love onions in my burger.
Yeah, and like I put like in my top 5, I put fried onions, but I'm also a big fan of like caramelized onions, sautéed onions. I mean, hell, I like raw onions. I mean, raw onions kind of basic. It's like the same thing as like lettuce and tomato. It's kind of basic, so I didn't put it in my top 5. But I don't mind raw onion either, man. So, all right, the people are chiming in on the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Devin writes in, he loves Five Guys, and his favorite toppings are mayo, lettuce, tomato, pickles with ketchup and mustard. So you sound like an all-American, sir. Very, very, very simple. What kind of cheese do you throw on there? Because I don't think you put cheese in there. If you don't eat it with cheese, then I don't know what to tell you. Kelvin writes, pepper jack cheese, love it. Bacon, yes. Caramelized onions, very, very good. Sautéed mushrooms, that's a good shout as well. That's a really good shout.
That's a good one.
And lettuce. So I think right there he built his perfect burger. Pepper jack, bacon, caramelized onions, sautéed mushrooms, and a lot of times if you see like a burger like that on the menu, it's usually like called like the fancy burger or the bistro burger. So
anything with mushrooms already, like you put it to another notch of like this is not just a normal burger. It has mushrooms in it now, so you got to put it to another tier.
Yeah,
fanciness.
It's like anytime there's mushrooms on a burger, you know you're paying at least $15 for the burger. Like, it's at a different price tier.
That's so true.
It's like a whole different conversation. Oh man, 844-416-8123. We're gonna talk some football with Jakari Givens from the 5 Reasons Sports Network, the 6 Ring Kane Show. When we come back here on Onside Radio, hey, Onside Radio enters Kai's Corner with Kai Chen Chisholm every day from 10 a.m. to noon. Join Kai as he discusses the biggest stories in South Florida sports. Tune in every day from 10 a.m. to noon for Kai's Corner on the home for South Florida sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Listen to every Inter-Miami CF match on your home for La Rosa Negra, OnsideRadio.com. Catch us every day on the MyTuner Radio app. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Hey, Big O, what's going on? Listen, I just was telling your guy that answered the phone, Alex, it's just a pleasure, man, to get out of work and get in your car and be able to put on the radio and hear South Florida sports and not have to listen to some bull crap about another team from another state that you can give to a rat's ass about, and sit there and have to go through all this other bull crap talk to, again, never hear them talk about your team once or twice in 20 hours. It's just an honor, and I wanted to thank you, man, for starting this thing up, man. It's balls to the walls. I love it.
Onside Zone with a big O from 12 noon to 3 p.m. every weekday on OnsideRadio.com.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Earlier today, news broke that Julio Jones has been traded to the Baltimore Ravens. And the Miami Heat season is almost over, and it's one game away. And that game will be tomorrow at 1:30. I mean, he lost to the Bucks yesterday, 113 to 184. And it was led by Jimmy Butler with 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. Also in the NBA, the Lakers take a 2-1 lead on the Suns with a 109-95 win, and the Nuggets are up 2-1 on the Trailblazers after a 120-115 victory. The Miami Marlins failed to reach a 500 record, once again losing yesterday to the Phillies 3-2. Yimi Garcia picked up the loss. Marlins are 12-12 at home this season, and they travel to Fenway Park for a weekend series with the Boston Red Sox. Cody Poteet will get the start. First pitch at 7:10. Tomorrow night, right here at Dry Pink Stadium, a full-capacity crowd will watch Inter Miami CF welcome DC United to the pitch. Inter Miami CF pregame show with Big O and Alex Dono gets started at 7, and the call of the match with Eric Krakauer and Thomas Rognan and Fernando Fiore at 8 p.m. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station. Coming up is more of Man of the Match with Alex Dono right here at OnsideRadio.com.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common, preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
Every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., listen to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard, brought to you by Stout Bar and Grill in Oakland Park. With over 40 TVs, Stout is the home for soccer around the world. Stout Bar features Clonakilty whiskeys, the world's best Irish whiskey.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Back with you here on Onside Radio, Man of the Match until 6 o'clock. Love talking football with our next guest, Jakari Givens at KingJock24 on Twitter. Does an awesome job on the Sixth Ring Kane Show on 5 Reasons Sports Network. Jakari, good afternoon, man. How are you on this fine Friday?
I'm good, man. Just ready to start the weekend.
Same here, man. Hey, before we get into some football, I always, on Fridays, I like to bring up a food topic for Foodie Friday. Today is National Burger Day. Are you a big fan of burgers? And if so, what are your go-to toppings? What are Jakari Gibbons' favorite burger toppings?
Oh, I'm not a big burger guy at all. I'm more of a chicken guy, so I don't really eat a lot of burgers. But when I do, honey mustard definitely got to be on there.
Nice.
That's my number one thing.
Nice. I like that. Jakari Gibbons is with us here on Onside Radio. Yeah, so... oh, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, my bad. I heard something in the background. I thought that was you. So Tua Tagovailoa spoke to the media midweek, Jakari, and he was, I thought, extremely honest and candid and very self-critical. And he talked about last year not really having the understanding of the playbook, necessary to have the full playbook available to him, which really confirmed a lot of what we saw as Dolphin fans last year. What it looked like there was a much bigger playbook for Ryan Fitzpatrick than there was to Tua Tagovailoa. So what did you make of what Tua had to say, and how quickly do you think he can improve upon some of those struggles from last year?
Well, it just points out that him and Chan Gailey was not on the same page. The play calling wasn't to his liking. And I feel like now he has a better relationship with the co-OC, so it's a little bit better for him. And I like I said, I've been saying this for the longest. I expect him to make a jump from year 1 to year 2 just because he had a full offseason at his disposal, and he's went through OTAs. Last year, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so we did not know what we were going to have. The season was in flux. So you can't really fault them guys. Like, they had a rookie season, but they did. Now he's going to go through OTAs, mini camp, training camp, fully, thank God for the vaccine. People are, more open up now. So just expect a bigger jump, and him being more comfortable in his study will allow him to make plays for the Dolphins.
Yeah, man, and we've talked before about Weapon X, right? With the Dolphins drafting Jalen Waddle, how you got that speed now with Waddle and with Will Fuller as well. How much do you think that's going to help the running game? Because that's the area where I thought they could have done a little bit more to address it in the offseason. Last year, Myles Gaskin was productive when he was on the field, and it doesn't look like there's going to be dramatic upgrades made to that running back room. I mean, Malcolm Brown was added, but Myles Gaskin will probably be, the featured back this coming year. How much do you think the running game is going to be helped out by the passing game?
So with Fuller and Waddle, you can't stack eight in the box because you don't want to leave those guys one-on-one with anyone. So that speed there, Gaskins will be running against a 5-man box, so essentially it'll be 5-on-5 out there. So you can't, I know you wanted a running back, but you cannot want the running back and have that as well. So I think any running back is going to be able to get off in the system. Just because you can't stack 8 in the box, you're not going to be running against 8-man boxes because they scatter that speed on the outside.
Joined here by Jakari. Jakari Gibbons is with us here on Onside Radio. There's some things happening in the NFL. Julio Jones, he might end up in Baltimore. I was reading earlier that the New England Patriots are the betting favorites for Julio Jones. I mean, where do you think he's going to end up, and where do you think he thrives the most?
Well, if he's smart, he goes to Green Bay. I think adding him will help Aaron Rodgers want to be the quarterback there more. And that's his best chance to win a championship. Also, San Francisco's another team that would be great for him to, if he wants to win. But ultimately, I think he ends up with the Patriots because I think the Patriots won't be afraid to give away a first-round pick for him because I think they're going for the jugular this year. So that would be a good spot. But ultimately, I would love to see him in Green Bay. That's where I would like to see him at, just to see him with Aaron Rodgers. Him and Devontae Adams would be pretty special together as well. So that would be exciting to see.
Well, and that would seemingly solve two big problems at once, right? Because it would solve Julio Jones's problem, and that might solve Aaron Rodgers' problem as well, because if they get Julio Jones, he might say, you know what, it's time for me to get back to Green Bay.
Yeah, so that's how I feel, too. And plus, give Rodgers what he deserves. Now, he's been mistreated. hasn't been in the loop of any signings, anything. You go after that, and if you have a Julio Jones, you can beat a Tampa Bay Buccaneers because you can't. You have to outscore that team. You know what I mean? So adding him would make that offense. Come on, man. Aaron Jones, Julio Jones, Devontae Adams. They have weapons on the weapons over there. Then you get a healthy offensive line back next season. So, you just have to go for the jugular there. But if they're smart, they'll go after him to solve the problem because I think Aaron Rodgers' whole thing is this. I want to be treated as every other quarterback in the league. You look at his counterpart, Tom Brady. The Buccaneers went out and got everybody he asked for, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, whoever he chose for. So you have to give Aaron Rodgers that same respect.
Going back to the Miami Dolphins, as we're joined by Jakari Givens here on Onside Radio. The first 5 games on the schedule look especially tough. We do have an extra game on the schedule this year where we've gone up to 17 as opposed to 16, which we've had for like the last 30-some seasons. Have you made any predictions for what the Dolphins' record is going to be? They got 10 wins last year. A couple of those were helped out by your closer, Ryan Fitzpatrick, especially that Raiders game where he came on and helped the Dolphins get that late victory. How many games do you think the Dolphins win this year in a 17-game schedule?
I got them going 12-5.
Nice, my man.
Yeah, I got them going 12-5 just because I think the team has improved in areas that they didn't have last year. We didn't have the playmakers on the outside last year. I think it's going to help the whole team. The defense won't be out there as much because the offense will be able to make plays and able to win games. The offense will win more games this year, so that's why I think they'll go 12-5. You're looking at the schedule. The Dolphins always beat teams they're not supposed to and lose the teams they shouldn't lose.
Yep.
So that's the biggest thing for me. So I got them going 12-5. I think they add 2 wins with the Fuller, the Waddle, Jalen Phillips impact. Just the rookie class alone, I think. And they upgraded that linebacker with Bredrick McKinney. So I just think it's a 12-5 season. They upgraded at the positions they needed to upgrade at.
Dude, when you talk about winning games you're not supposed to win and losing games you're not supposed to lose, you could also be talking about the Miami Hurricanes. Your take on the recruiting situation, because the class of 2022 is looking pretty thin. Now, this has been, a weird year as far as the long dead period, which is coming to an end in early June, and Miami's going to have that big barbecue. So at what point should we freak out about the next recruiting class, or do you think we should still kind of wait a few more weeks before we make any big judgments?
You shouldn't freak out about anything, to be honest, just because the transfer portal is such a big thing in today's recruiting world. What you lack in a recruiting class, you can get in the transfer portal. So I wouldn't freak out about anything. I just think you have to run its course. But you should be able to see a semblance of where they're going with the class in the next coming weeks, with everything opening and back up for them. And June 1st having a barbecue and recruiting back on the road, stuff like that. So it'll be able to it'll work itself out, in other words.
I hope you're right. Your mouth to God's ears. Good stuff here, as always, from Jakari Givens at KingJock24 on Twitter. Check him out on the 5 Reasons Sports Network and on the 6 Ring Kane Show. Jakari, thank you so much, man. Have an awesome weekend coming up.
You too, brother.
Good stuff there from Jakari. All right, so we're going to wrap up the 3 o'clock hour when we come back here on Onsite Radio. By the way, English Premier League fans are so goddamn annoying. So I was tweeting earlier, one of Inter's better players, Inter Milan, right wingback Ashraf Hakimi, looks like he is unfortunately on the way out because they do need to raise some funds with transfer sales, and I think he's on his way to PSG. And I tweeted something earlier, before the show started about, saying goodbye to Hakimi. And I've got all these fans like, oh, is he coming to Spurs, mate? Is he coming, to Spurs, not being San Antonio, of course, but Tottenham Hotspur in London? It's like, bro, no, he's not going there. He's going to PSG. Like, these Premier League fans think they're entitled to every player. Oh, they're all coming to me team, mate. Now, if you're a Manchester City fan, United, Chelsea, yeah, you guys buy a ton of players, okay? Liverpool. But these Spurs fans and Arsenal fans, your teams are not relevant, guys. Like, don't think every single player is going to your team. 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Hey, Miami Dolphins fans can always count on the best coverage at OnSideRadio.com. Every week, keep up with your favorite team as Dolphins writer Omar Kelly joins us with exclusive reports and when news breaks. Catch the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans everywhere, OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnSideRadio.com.
Hey, it's Toast, and no doubt last year hurricane season was one of the craziest we've ever seen. Well, Noah's saying once again, going to be another active season, so you need to call B&T Windows and Doors today and get PGT custom windows and doors installed like I did so that you are fully protected. Listen, there's no better peace of mind than PGT custom windows and doors when you're in the cone of death for a Category 5 storm. Call B&T Windows and Doors today to get set up. 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
This Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard will be broadcasting live from Stout Bar and Grill in Oakland Park. With over 40 TVs, Stout is the home for soccer around the world. Stout features Clonakilty whiskeys, the world's best Irish whiskey. So come on out this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Red Card Radio live from Stout Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit a Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnSideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Back here on Man of the Match on Onside Radio. Alex Dono with you. We got Alex Aguirre producing the show. Alex, you a big fan of Jeopardy? Like, I watched one Aaron Rodgers episode, but other than that, I haven't. The last time I watched Jeopardy was a couple of years ago when that geeky dude kept winning, James Holzhauer. I think was the guy, and he kept winning, and then he eventually lost. But I watched a couple of his episodes. Do you ever like go out of your way on a weeknight, like, oh, I got to watch Jeopardy tonight?
Not really, no, but my grandparents watch that religiously.
Oh, I bet they do.
They love that, and they love Wheel of Fortune that's back to
yes!
back. It comes on back to back. They don't miss it. They don't miss it. So because they live with me, so when I peep into their room, and for sure they're watching a game show, but probably one of those two. So like then I'll probably watch a couple minutes with them if they're watching Jeopardy, just for a little bit. But I'm not really a huge fan. But when I lived in Gainesville and I was with my best friend, but he was also we lived together. We would have competitions and stuff like that in Jeopardy, and for sometimes if we were that bored.
You guys were nerds, huh?
I mean, he's a law student.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah, he was a law student. Yeah, and I was in school. Yeah, we're pretty nerdy.
So we've all been following Aaron Rodgers. He really wants to be the full-time host of Jeopardy, and he even claimed, a couple months back before his dispute with the Packers really heated up, that he could do that and still be a full-time NFL quarterback, because Jeopardy only films for a handful of weeks out of the year. They film a bunch of episodes per day, so it's very condensed. So he claims he could do that and play football. He wants to be the permanent host, and I had kind of assumed it's his gig if he really wants it, right? But according to Jeopardy audiences, they've done a poll. They've done a research poll, and Jeopardy audiences actually have Aaron Rodgers second behind Ken Jennings. That Ken Jennings, who was the former longtime Jeopardy champion, who's another guy who did some fill-ins, after, unfortunately, Alex Trebek, of course, sadly passed away, and they've had rotating guest host since then. But Ken Jennings actually leads Aaron Rodgers in the poll to be the next host. But here's part of the issue why I think that the network would still favor Rodgers, because Alex Aguirre he hit it on the head. His grandparents watched Jeopardy, right? And I think it's that older generation who they watched Ken Jennings on Jeopardy 25, 30 years ago, whenever it was. So it's he brings back the good memories, Ken Jennings. But Aaron Rodgers appeals to the younger demographic. And so Jeopardy, like anything else, their audience, if they're appealing to the old heads, their audience is literally going to die off. So they need to appeal to younger people. This is via Civic Science, this study. These have functioned as high-profile auditions for the guest hosts, and longtime Jeopardy viewers are starting to pick favorites. According to a recent Civic Science study, Jeopardy fans are most enthusiastic about Jeopardy greatest of all-time winner Ken Jennings to take over for Trebek, but surprise contender Aaron Rodgers is polling right behind him. Jennings is polling at 22%. Aaron Rodgers is polling at 16%. There's a bunch of other people in the mix with smaller numbers. And significantly ahead of the other guest hosts, Jennings, the first and longest tenured guest host, has long been considered a shoo-in for the job, but he might have some competition. But they point out Rodgers performed the best among the youngest demographic. Rodgers, who might not be the Green Bay Packers quarterback for much longer, is the top pick for viewers in the 18 to 24 age bracket. But Jennings beats him in every other age bracket. But you know what? Honestly, again, Jeopardy, when they make this decision to pick the full-time host, even if there are more people asking for Jennings, if the people asking for Jennings are 60, 70, 80 years old, they're going to make the decision that appeals to the younger folks because they want their audience to grow. They don't want their audience to die. So Aaron Rodgers might actually have the edge because of that statistical quirk. So you have to wonder, man, could he be the quarterback of a different NFL team next year and also the full-time host of Jeopardy? Hey, every Saturday at 11 a.m., soccer fans can connect with Austin Robillard and Red Card Radio. From the Premiership to the MLS, catch up with your favorite team, including our very own Inter Miami CF. Listen to Red Card Radio every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with Austin Robillard, exclusively at OnSiteRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnSideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
Inter Miami CF fans. Join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than the roof above the people you love. At Onside Radio, we recommend Chase Roofing and Contracting. At chaseroofing.com, they care about the customer. Chase Roofing provides reliable roof installation and repair without the destruction to our environment. Chase Roofing is powered by Tamara, who is owner and operated for 18 years. Chaseroofing.com is Google top rated and a AAA standing with the Better Business Bureau. Open 24/7. Call them today. Trust chaseroofing.com to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of Onside Radio ownership, management, sponsors, website, or Inter Miami Marketing, LLC.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, 4 o'clock hour, a Man of the Match here on Onside Radio. Taking you up until 6 o'clock tonight. That's when we'll hand it over to Stephen D on Miami Sports Music for the fans. And then you know how it goes. When 7 o'clock rolls around, after Stephen D signs off, the weekend officially begins. Go to your happy hours. God, does happy hour last till past 7? It's been so long since I've been to a happy hour. Is happy hour usually, and happy hour is almost never 1 hour. It's just what they call it. But it's like 5 to 8. Is it 4 to 7, 5 to 7? I'm hoping it's 5 to 8, so you guys have time to catch a little happy hour after Miami Sports Music for the fans. Or even better, if happy hour only goes till 7, get to happy hour before that, and then listen on your mobile device to Stephen D while you're drinking at happy hour. So I think that's probably the way to go, man. I think that is the way to go. So I have become very aware over the past couple of weeks that the Tampa Bay Lightning are a morally bankrupt organization who are perfectly willing to manipulate and cheat and circumvent the salary cap in order to keep their best players eligible for the playoffs while also being, quote-unquote, legally over the cap, because in the NHL you can stash players during the regular season on the long-term injury report, magically bring them back for the playoffs, and they don't count the salary cap in the playoffs. So Nikita Kucherov, Steven Stamkos, two of their best players, Tampa Bay Lightning, $17 million over the cap. So I was fully aware that the Tampa Bay Lightning are a morally bankrupt organization. I was not aware until a little while ago, and a huge shout out to Indade on the YouTube chat for sending a message about this. And by the way, we're very interactive on the YouTube page. Go to YouTube, watch us live, Onside Radio. You can use the live chat feature every single day. Conversations from the live chat turn into conversations on the show. And I'm very active on there, reading it, sending messages. And Indade pointed this out to me, and I've become more educated on this. He says, Dono, did you hear about the Tampa Bay Lightning policy that relocates fans wearing other teams' logos in the arena? They are revoking it now because video of two Panthers fans being confronted by Lightning security. So if you're keeping score, not only are the Tampa Bay Lightning a morally bankrupt organization, they are also a communist organization, the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I'm looking at this this update that came out a short while ago, 3:45 p.m. at ESPN.com. The Tampa Bay Lightning will no longer enforce a policy that restricts fans from wearing gear supporting other NHL teams in their premium seating arenas, the team told ESPN on Friday. So let me get this straight. So the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're so afraid of fans paying premium ticket prices, because this is club-level seats we're talking about. Those are some of the most expensive in the arena, the most expensive in the arena, the club-level seats. So they have fans paying exorbitant prices, especially in the playoffs, for club-level seats, and they had this rule, which obviously it's not very well communicated, but they have a rule where fans who pay these premium ticket prices can't go to these seats wearing logos for other teams. That's not America. That's the Soviet Union. That's China, okay? You pay that much for a ticket. I've been to arenas and stadiums all over the country. And listen, obviously, any stadium you go to, if you're there, wearing gear for the opposing team, you're probably in the minority. You're probably going to get heckled. If you're in Philadelphia, you might get physically assaulted. But there's not rules against it. Like, this actually reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where Elaine got to sit in the owner's box at a New York Yankees game, and she was from Baltimore, so she was wearing a Baltimore Orioles cap when the Orioles were playing the Yankees, and she was asked to take the hat off. Like, she was asked to leave because she was representing. Now, that's a little bit different because you're in the owner's box, okay? Like, I'll give you another example. I can remember, at times when I'm like in the press box, and this is a completely different ethic, okay? And if you go to a press box to cover a team as a member of the media, a lot of people who claim to be media members are dopes. Like, they're not professional, right? They get credentialed from some blog that they created 8 minutes ago, and they don't understand that when you show up to the press box to cover a game, you shouldn't be wearing the gear of either of the teams, the home team or the away team, and they'll get either scolded or asked to change or something. But never, like in the United States of America, I've never heard of this. Policies at arenas where they will not allow you, when you pay, again, exorbitant ticket prices, and you're not talking about being in the owner's box, you're not talking about being in the press box, you pay exorbitant prices for these tickets, and you're not allowed to wear gear for the other team. It's crazy. So this policy, which has now come to light, that began in 2015, had come under renewed scrutiny here after a Florida Panthers fan, and God bless this fan, recorded a viral video that showed two Amalie Arena employees, that's the arena in Tampa, confronting him and his 11-year-old son. They spelled out the options under the policy where the fans could, quote, check in their visiting team gear for non-logo shirts. Like, this is Stalingrad. They could check in their visiting team gear for non-logo shirts. This is Pyongyang. They could continue to wear the jersey in a relocated seat away from the club areas, never mind the fact that they paid for club tickets, or they could be issued a refund for the tickets. One of the employees said, quote, if we come back down here, we're getting Tampa Bay police because this is our building policy. I mean, blowhards. What a shady, shifty, totalitarian regime the Tampa Bay Lightning are running. The Lightning said that the policy is clearly stated when one purchases a ticket in their premium seating areas, and that the team communicates the ticket policy to every fan who purchases tickets here through email and by calling the ticket holders. In the video, the Panthers fan says that a team representative had called him before the game to discuss the policy. Starting in 2015, the Lightning instituted this ticket policy that prohibited any other team's gear in the club seat areas. The team told ESPN that at full capacity, the policy impacted roughly 6% of the seats in the arena. With limited capacity due to COVID protocols, the policy impacts about 10% of the seats. The Lightning faced the Carolina Hurricanes in the second round of the playoffs, with the series starting in Raleigh on Sunday. But honestly, how insecure are you that, in your club level, I can't have anyone wearing opposing team gear? Dude, this is, okay, if you want to start up a team in North Korea, that's a fantastic policy. If you want to go over and co-own a team with Kim Jong-un and say, oh, this is a great plan we have. If you want to go start a team in Moscow, I'm sure our guy Vladimir Putin would think that's a fantastic idea. But in Tampa, Florida, United States of America, you're going to have fans pay what I imagine were hundreds of dollars in tickets. Free country, wear whatever the hell you want to, and then told, no, you can't wear opposing team gear here. Come on, bro. It's the playoffs. It's not like they outnumber the Lightning fans in the arena. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. So that's the sort of stuff going on in Tampa Bay. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Oh, man. By the way, I was looking at this tweet earlier from a Bucks website, Milwaukee, and I got to hand it to these Milwaukee Bucks fans. Enjoy the fact that you're about to advance. Just enjoy the fact that you're getting revenge, okay? I understand last year falling to a Heat team that you were favored against in 5 games. That was very humiliating for you, but it should be cathartic getting your revenge. You're up 3-0. You're probably going to sweep the series. I don't know why it's not enough for Milwaukee Bucks fans and writers, bloggers, to just say, you know what? Our team got better. The Heat got worse. We deserve to win this series. We're well on our way to winning the series. We're getting our revenge. So I see this Bucks take on Twitter is now complaining about how fraudulent the Heat were last year in the bubble. He says, I think the point of this post is to show just how lucky Miami got last year because of the situational position they were given. The Bucks weren't given home court advantage, and there were 0 fans. And by the way, he spelled there as Their, so this guy has a 14 IQ. Hero did amazing, and so did Butler. It was a fluke, and that's all it was. And I'll read the next tweet, which is even crazier. But how ridiculous is this? So this guy can't enjoy the fact that the Bucks have gotten better and they're getting revenge against the Heat. He's now got to go back and say, well, the Heat were frauds last year, okay? And he uses this bubble thing, which is he says, anyways, the point of my argument is that the Bucks had it a lot tougher than other teams in the bubble. He says George Hill was very adamant on the fact that the Bucks roster at the time was affected quite badly by what happened. It's bigger than basketball. He says, I'm not taking anything away from them being a better team this year, his own team, the Bucks. I'm simply stating we had other things on our mind besides basketball, and Jimmy Butler was on a mission for a chip. The roles have reversed this year, and it's clear he underrated us, talking about Jimmy. So also, basically, you're calling your team mentally weak. So you're saying that, remember, every team that was in the bubble, they were all in the same bubble. They were all in the same bubble, same conditions, same situation. They were all playing in front of 0 fans, not just your team. They were all sequestered in a hotel for 3 months, not just your team. So you're telling me that your team was mentally softer last year because these guys couldn't handle, oh my God, this is so terrible. They're going to make me stay for 2 months in a fancy hotel with room service. This is like being in a third world country. Oh my God, I'm in a 4-star hotel with all the room service that I can eat and all the beers I can drink. And I can't take this. This is so difficult for me. Bro, why is that any easier for the Heat than it is for your team? I would have loved it last year if from, when was the bubble going on? July to October? I would have loved it if someone gave me money last year to sequester myself in a luxury hotel for a couple of months with room service. That would have been fantastic. That would have been an awesome vacation from my real life. But apparently the Milwaukee Bucks were very affected by it last year. I don't understand it. Like, this guy, he's not giving his team credit. Like, give your team credit for being better. They addressed huge needs in trades last year, bringing in Drew Holiday. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I believe, is better on the court and mentally stronger than he was last year. Like, why can't you give your team some credit instead of saying, well, oh, my God, we were in this awful position in the bubble last year. You're in the same position every team was in. Shut your face. All right, we're going to talk next with our good pal, Alphonse Sidney from Hangover Time on Miami Heat Beat. You know, Alex, did you listen to or watch the last episode of Hank? Because I couldn't put myself, and no disrespect to them because I love Alf, but after how miserable last night was, I couldn't watch any post-game material. I just wanted to sit in the corner and cry. But you were telling me you were listening to Hangover Time?
Yeah, I've been listening to it, and I also just like their little segments of Mr. Deadman's Garage.
I love so good.
It's
so
awesome.
Good.
It's awesome. They do a great job. You know, I have close ties with GC, with Giancarlo Navas. We go way back. You know, he follows my work. I follow his work as well. So, like, no, they do a great job. And they make, especially that episode, their most recent episode, they made that loss not better, but they just made it like just a fun time to lose, I guess.
Maybe I should have watched it because you're right about that. Like, Alf and Tiffany and
They're
the
real.
crew, like, but they're not the type of people to like really make you more sad after a loss. Like,
exactly.
they cheer you up. So I probably should have watched it.
Yeah, it cheered me up a bit, but still though, yeah.
We're going to talk to the man himself, Alphonse Sidney, Mr. Deadman's nephew, when we come back here on the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the man of the match with Alex Dono. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
She's kind of young, so I don't know. She may not be into Van Halen much. Let's see. Ruthie, good afternoon. Are you a Van Halen fan?
You know, I just had to Google Van Halen. I'm not going to lie to you. I just literally have it on my computer right now.
The Onside Zone with Big O. Weekdays 11 to 1 p.m. Only on OnsideRadio.com.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodieAsDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moody-Ass family. Dr. Moody-Ass is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodyAsDental.com.
Every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., listen to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard, brought to you by Stout Bar and Grill in Oakland Park. With over 40 TVs, Stout is the home for soccer around the world. Stout Bar features Clonakilty whiskeys, the world's best Irish whiskey.
Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
Fish fans, time to reel in the latest news in baseball with OnsideRadio.com's Marlins Minute. Here's Alex Aguirre.
The Marlins couldn't come up with late-game magic yesterday as they fell to the Phillies 3-2 and split the 4-game series against Philadelphia. Pablo Lopez had another quality start this season, going 7 innings, giving up only 2 runs and striking out 5. The Phillies picked up the go-ahead run in the top of the 9th on a fielder's choice when Yimi Garcia tried to turn an inning-ending double play with runners on first and third. The lack of run support for Pablo has been an unfortunate trend this season as the Marlins only had 4 hits all game. Miami's practically fielding a B squad at this point. Brian Anderson was sidelined in Game 3 of this series with a shoulder injury and is going to be on the IL, and now Miguel Rojas might have some time on the shelf, suffering a finger injury, sliding back into first base on a pickoff play. Things continue to roll on for Miami and not get any easier as they gear up for some interleague play against the Boston Red Sox tonight for a 3-game series. Cody Poteet will be on the mound for Miami. First pitch is at 7:10. Let's go Fish.
Keep up with the latest on the Miami Marlins by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit more2adhd.com for additional information. That's more2adhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Onside Radio, we go out to the guest line and bring on a very good friend of the show, and he's going to give me a shoulder to cry on. He might even cheer me up after the latest playoff travesty by the Miami Heat last night. We go out to the guest line and bring in Alphonse Sidney from Hangover Time on Miami Heat Beat, Light Skin Opinions. Alf, man, you know what? I was just talking with Alex Aguirre on air last segment that I made a mistake because Alex, he watched Hangover Time and he said you guys made him feel a little bit better. I was just sulking and so upset after last night. I kind of just unplugged from everything. So you guys might have actually made me feel a little bit better. What was the tone of Hangover Time last night?
First of all, you always watch Hangover Time, Donald. Come on.
I made a mistake. I'm not going to miss another one.
Our main goal is win or loss. We're going to have a good time no matter what. The main tone of it was just, a little bit bemoaning the off season, the results of the very short off season, what happened after the bubble, going into the season with barely any preparation. Avery Bradley and Mo Harkless being your big pickups. Your biggest contributors, outside of last year are 2 guys who were bagging groceries in February, and into Wade Dedman and Trevor Ariza, and that this was the result. But it's tough. You don't mind if they lose. You just don't want a complete embarrassment. Just a complete no-show from a team and an organization that prides itself on how hard they fight, how hard they play. They really let themselves down. They let the city down. They've let the organization down. They've kind of let down just the entire Miami Heat culture. But, we still did it in a fun way. We laughed. I went on a rant about Tyler Hero and Jack Harlow and Serial. We interviewed Marv Albert at the end of the show, one of his farewell interviews, a Miami Heat Beat exclusive, by the way. And overall, we just had a good time, but it looks like these playoffs are coming to an end pretty soon. Hangover Time is going to be a year-round show, so we'll be doing post games for Other games, just basically hate watching the rest of the playoffs and rooting for teams we don't like to lose.
Now, speaking of Tyler Hero, he's really becoming my nemesis, okay? Because I think about how many potential trades that could have made this team better that Pat Riley passed on because he's insisting on keeping this Tyler Hero. Like, is the ride finally almost over, Alf? Like, do you think that Tyler Hero is going to end up at the end of the day at some point during the offseason getting dealt? Because I'm a little bit tired of missing opportunities because we seem to believe, well, not me and you necessarily, but a lot of Heat fans seemed to believe that Tyler Hero was the next big thing.
Listen, you got to go back and watch Hangover Time because you're going to love my Tyler Hero rant. He's a fine player, okay? But I hope we're done with this next superstar crap. This next Devin Booker. Oh, look at his numbers compared to Steph Curry in his first couple years. These acrobatic stretches that Heat fans are doing to talk about this kid like he's the second coming. He's a fine bench player, 7th or 8th guy on the bench. But, you know, he's Luke Kennard with a better fashion sense. Like, we got to stop. Like, we really got to stop over inflating our own guys. And listen, we can talk about the trades, the James Harden thing. You know, everything I've heard is that it wasn't about Tyler Hero. It was about the fact that he didn't have the draft capital. But, you know, during the trade deadline, when I was screaming, like, I don't care, give up Tyler Hero for Kyle Lowry, and everyone's like, oh, you can't sell low on Tyler Hero. What do you think is going to be this summer when you sell on Tyler Hero? You think you're selling him at his peak? He's Bitcoin at this point, all right?
Well, don't rub it in.
Hey, listen, I'm not doing well either. But, you know, he's cryptocurrency at this point. Like, his value is at an all-time low. I mean, he's been horrible in these playoffs. He scored, I think, 9 points last night. 4 of them were in garbage time. He can't get separation from anybody. He's 30 pounds soaking wet. He can't defend anyone. I mean, we went from thinking this team had a good veteran presence and a nice young core to like, holy crap. Like, all of our young guys can be hunted so easily on defense, and our old guys are just super, super old, like crazy old. And it's you know, last night the Heat fans were chanting MVP for Belly. I mean,
Yeah.
we've reached a low here, and listen, I've come on the show a number of times, and I said, don't get fooled by this Heat team. This is one of the worst Heat offenses I've ever seen, but even I could not have predicted that it would be this horrifically bad. This is the worst Heat offense I've seen in 30 years.
Yeah, and I don't think that's an exaggeration. You know, on the flip side, I'm sure that this is pretty cathartic for the Bucks. You know, to get revenge from last year. I saw you and other Heat fans going back and forth with some stupid Bucks fan who was like talking about how, we were more affected by the bubble last year than any other team was. Like, I don't understand why this clown is like making excuses for last year when he should be enjoying what they're doing this year. But whatever the case may be, there's no question Milwaukee, their team got better, and I believe Giannis got better. So, I mean, do you look at this team as a contender to come out of the East, or is it the Brooklyn show in your mind?
I do, because of the way they play defense. And now let me address the Milwaukee fans, the most insecure fan base on the face of the earth.
For real.
What is wrong? Like, you guys are still harping on bubble flukes. Like, if you lost to a bubble fluke, what did that make you? You were dismantled in 5 games by a fluke. I would be trying to hold up the 2020 Miami Heat in the highest of lights to try to mitigate the embarrassment of getting, dismantled in 5 games. Instead, they try to say, oh, you guys are a fluke. Then all that does is diminish your 2020 team even further. And for them to say that they had the most difficulties in the bubble, why? Like, what, you weren't getting room service at the Disney hotel? Like, get out of here.
Yeah,
like,
and I was saying it, Alf, I would have, like, anyone complaining about being in that bubble, I would have loved last year for someone to take me out of my house for 2 months, 3 months, whatever it was, and put me in a luxury hotel with room service. Like, that sounds fantastic to me.
with a bunch of other quarantine people you can hang out with.
Yeah.
I hung out. It was me and my dog for about 6 months. We started having full conversations. And these guys are complaining about, hanging out at Disney World for a few months. Please, calm down. But as far as the Bucks and as far as them being contenders, I do think so, because the way they play defense at such a high level is going to be a tough time for a lot of teams, and they are a fantastic offensive team, which is one of my other frustrations with the Heat, is that they played tremendous defense 2 out of the 3 games, but they can't buy a bucket to save their lives, and they can't rebound. But the thing is, you go up against the Brooklyn Nets, yeah, they'll score with you, but the Brooklyn Nets can't defend, and the Brooklyn Nets can't rebound. So I see a bunch of high-scoring 140 to 130 games, but I see the Bucks coming out on top. And we all know that the 76ers are a bunch of frauds.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody believes in them. They're not going anywhere.
We're joined here by Alphonse Sidney on Onside Radio. He does an awesome job on Hangover Time on Miami Heat Beat. So, if we start to look ahead to what may come, and obviously I know we still need to lose one more game, but we're not coming back and winning this series. So I'm going to start thinking about the offseason. How drastic do you think Pat Riley is going to go? Do you think, and obviously I would expect Jimmy and Bam to, of course, be untouchable, but, I mean, do you think Riley blows it up? Do you think he's really going to try and remake this roster?
The way I describe it is, you keep Bam, you keep Jimmy, you try to get Duncan on the friendliest deal possible. Goran, you come back at the minimum, or you can go away, and then you fire the rest of this team into the sun on a rocket. It's done. There's nobody else on this team that I'm clamoring to keep. I like Dedmon. We call him Mr. Dedmon on Hangover Time. He's a fun player. He's a good guy to have off your bench. But I'm not crying tears if Dedmon doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Trevor Ariza, listen, thanks for a fun couple weeks in the regular season. I'm not clamoring for him back. Iggy needs to retire. And then, Kendrick Nunn, listen, showed again in the playoffs. We can talk about COVID last year, but he was struggling before he got COVID last year. And then he's just inconsistent. He provides a little spark, and you're thinking, okay, maybe we'll have something here. And then he just disappears. Tyler Hero coming up small in the big moments. There's not outside of Bam and Jimmy, I'm not shedding a tear over a single player on this team. The one thing I would hate to lose is Duncan, because if you are able to get a Kyle Lowry, let's say you can get Kyle Lowry, and you can also, get Victor Oladipo here on a really friendly deal, a prove-it deal to prove that he's healthy again. Those are the guys that if you surround Duncan with those kind of playmakers, he becomes a bigger threat than he is now. He's doing this with no point guard. Imagine you gave him a playmaking point guard that could draw some defense in where he could kick it out. Right now, we do this smoke and mirrors offense where we just run around like the Globetrotters at the 3-point line, and hopefully he shakes free. If they actually had a real floor general, Duncan would be killing it. So I'd love to see Duncan back, but they really need a primary scorer. They need a playmaker, and they need another big.
When an NBA player in a playoff game or any game gets spit on or gets popcorn dumped on them by a fan, shouldn't they be allowed to take one free shot? Because I have a problem with these fans thinking that just because they're paying for a ticket that the rules of society do not apply to them. Because if you were just walking down the street and Russell Westbrook is walking, down the other side of the street, you're not just going to go up to the guy and dump popcorn on him. You would expect he's going to beat the crap out of you, right? But yet you're in an NBA arena. You think, oh, well, security will protect me. I paid a couple $100 for a ticket. I can do whatever I want to. I don't understand what's wrong with these people, Alf.
Well, first of all, it's Philly and New York. So
that's a good point.
You're talking about the dregs of society in the first place. But you know how Philly, I think the Eagles used to have I think they still might, they have a jail in their stadium?
Yeah, I think they do because they're, are they still in the same stadium or did they move? I don't know. At the Vet, they had a jail there.
With Eagles fans, they should have brought the jail with them wherever they went. But what I would like to see is a death match scenario where after a game, if you do something like that, you just have to wait down there with some boxing gloves on and some trunks. and just wait for after the game. And honestly, especially if the guy that you disrespected, that team loses, he gets to go down there and take his frustrations out on you. I think that'd be perfectly fair. I think you should be able to shoot the fair one with a fan that either spits on you or throws something at you. And I mean, spitting on a man, the most disrespectful thing you could possibly do.
In a pandemic, no less.
In a pandemic, you're just spitting your disgusting germs on somebody. Honestly, Trae Young, yes, I say he looks like a hairy lollipop, but he should have been able to turn around and slap the life out of that guy.
Oh, man, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't. And listen, I understand that, you and I and a lot of people can feel that way. I know it's never going to happen, but I honestly, I feel like the rules of society should apply in an NBA arena as well. We appreciate your time, sir, as always. And it means a lot to get a few laughs from you after the debacle on the court these last couple of games. Alphonse Sidney, who does a great job. He hosts Hangover Time on Miami Heat Beat. He hosts Light Skinned Opinions as well. Alf, thank you so much, man. And I will be locked into Hangover Time after Game 4, come hell or high water.
No problem, man. You have a great Memorial Day weekend.
You too, man. Good stuff there. Yeah, I almost forgot it's Memorial Day weekend coming up. This is going to be we're going to have a lot of vacationers down here, right? I saw something on Twitter about Miami Beach police, talking about kind of the code of conduct. Honestly, I don't go to Miami Beach that often to begin with because it's a circus. But, man, what a circus it is on holiday weekends. My God. I mean, you go, it takes an hour and a half just to drive over the goddamn bridge to get over there on a holiday weekend. And then you're there. It's try to park your car. You have to, drive around forever looking for a garage. And then it's $50 to park. Oh, man, there's no place I wouldn't rather be than that on a holiday weekend, man. No question about that. 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. You can also make sure you take advantage. You can watch us streaming live on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search for Onside Radio, subscribe to our channel, hit the watch live button, the live now button, I think it is, and then once you're in there, smash that like button, my friends. Do us a big solid. Hit the thumbs up to help us finesse that algorithm. And the more you hit the thumbs up, the more we're going to show up in other YouTube users' recommendations. And you can share the gospel of Onside Radio because there might be people out there who are, really digging the South Florida sports teams, and they don't know yet what we're doing here because Onside Radio, we've only been around since October of last year. We've been around for 7 months, so we're still continuing to spread that word of OnsideRadio.com. And if you're not able to watch us streaming on YouTube or on Twitch, you can listen to us OnsideRadio.com or a bunch of different mobile apps. Oh, by the way, a texter writes in, Dono, did I miss Lee Sterling? What were his picks? Now, Lee couldn't make it on today, actually. Lee had he had to help his daughter move into a new apartment for college, so Lee Sterling could not make it on today. And let me tell you, I got to let Alex Aguirre on in a little secret. We're the only ones talking here. So, I have a bit of an addiction, okay? And I don't have Lee Sterling's guidance this week because he had to take the week off for family reasons. He's busy this week. He's going to be back with us next Friday. But usually Lee is going to give us a handful of picks for Friday night and for Saturday. I was so desperate to lock in some bets today. I go on to my website that I use, my sports book, and I'm looking for anything I can find happening here on Friday, specifically in the afternoon, because I love to have bets going on during the show. And I came across the only thing that because they have everything on there. You can bet on cricket, but I can't. Personally, I can't bet on cricket because I don't understand it. I don't know what I'm betting on. But you can bet on cricket. You can bet on badminton. You can bet on esports. And I came across something today. Polish mixed martial arts. There's an event going on. I think it's PEF 41 from Warsaw, Poland. I've never heard of any of these fighters before. I've never heard, and I looked them up. Most of them have 1-0 or 2-1 records fighting over in Poland. And so I don't know who any of these people are, but I looked through, I found a handful of fighters with really lopsided odds, and I locked in a 4-fight parlay for PEF 43 or 41 in Poland. So with no Lee Sterling, this is how desperate I get. Like, I have to have some action today. I might need to get one of those 1-800 numbers to call for my addiction, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, because if I win this bet today on Polish mixed martial arts, then I don't have a problem. It's only a problem if you lose. But I locked in a 4-fight parlay from a Polish event. And even like when I'm on Google, because I'm trying to follow the event live, because you can watch it live on online pay-per-view, but I'm not paying money to watch this, okay? So I go on like Google to try to follow the live results of this event, and I can't find any web pages that aren't in Polish. So I've had to like pull up the Polish page and translate it to English through Google Translate. So I'm trying to win this 4-fight parlay, and I'm going to have to check how I'm doing. But no, to answer your question, Lee Sterling is not on with us today. And I'm so desperate that I've got to be betting on Polish mixed martial arts. Mike Nogozone says, who do you have for the Champions League final tomorrow? I've got City. I think they're the more talented squad. The thing that I'm a little bit nervous about with that game is I might do like City, draw, no bet, see what the odds are there, because I'm really worried the game goes to extra time. And the way soccer bets work with the regular money lines, the 3-way money line, like if I were to bet City on the money line, then if they go to extra time, like they could still win the game in extra time, but you lose your bet, because extra time in soccer, like it's like an extra betting period. So if I do City, draw, no bet, then that's I don't know what odds I can get on that. I'll check it out for tomorrow. But I think Manchester City are going to win. I'm just not so sure they win within 90 minutes. I think it might end up going to extra time and even penalty kicks. So I might have to get a little creative with the way that I lock it in, because I think it's going to be a really close game. It wouldn't surprise me if Chelsea won. I think City have the better side, so that's who I'm going to go with, but it may not be decided over the course of the first 90 minutes. All right, we continue here on Onside Radio. I'll tell you why I and every person in Miami should be extra mad at Colin Cowherd today. Hey, every day at Onside Radio, our hosts sit down at the round table to tackle the most important local or national sports headlines. The round table is podcasted daily. Search Onside Radio on all platforms. Subscribe, rate, and review to listen to all kinds of station segments. OnsideRadio.com is the home for South Florida sports.
We'll be right back to the man of the match with Alex Dono. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than the roof above the people you love. At Onside Radio, we recommend Chase Roofing and Contracting. At chaseroofing.com, they care about the customer. Chase Roofing provides reliable roof installation and repair without the destruction to our environment. Chase Roofing is powered by Tamara, who is owner and operated for 18 years. Chaseroofing.com is Google top rated and a AAA standing with the Better Business Bureau. Open 24/7. Call them today. Trust chaseroofing.com to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Miami Heat lost to the Milwaukee Bucks last night, 113-84. Jimmy Butler's 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists weren't enough, and now the Heat are 1 game away from elimination in the NBA playoffs. Also in the NBA, the Lakers take a 2-1 lead on the Suns with a 109-95 win, and the Nuggets are up 2-1 on the Portland Trail Blazers after a 120-115 victory. The Miami Marlins failed to reach the 500 mark, once again losing yesterday to the Phillies 3-2. Yimi Garcia picked up the loss, and the Marlins are now 12-12 at home this season. They travel to Fenway Park for a weekend series against the Boston Red Sox, and Cody Poche will get the start. First pitch is at 7:10. Tomorrow night, right here at Drive Pink Stadium, a full-capacity crowd will watch Inter Miami CF go up against DC United. Inter Miami CF pregame show with Big O and Alex Dono gets started at 7, and the call of the game with Eric Krakauer, Thomas Brogdon, and Fernando Fiori at 8 p.m. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station, and coming up, it's more of Man of the Match with Alex Dono right here at OnSiteRadio.com.
This, with all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
My daughter Brinley is here at St. Jude. Coming here was literally life or death, and it was so scary. But St. Jude is fighting for one goal, like this one mission, life. And that gave us hope. We haven't received a single bill from St. Jude, so I really can just focus on what's best for Brinley.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, welcome. Oops, sorry, my headphone wasn't on, so I didn't think I was on. But I am here, my friends, wrapping up the 4 o'clock hour shortly here on Man of the Match on Onside Radio. So, man, it's like people in the media they make a living trashing South Florida, whether they're trashing Tua or they're trashing sports fans here. And you know what? One thing that was kind of nice about the last 16 months, when you have, empty stadiums in a lot of places, partially filled stadiums in a lot of places, at least since March of last year, we got a break from these people trolling the South Florida sports fan because, people weren't allowed to show up to games. And listen, guys, I keep it real with you, okay? I'm a lifelong Miami Hurricanes fan, and I fully admit that there are times when Miami is playing against certain opponents at Hard Rock Stadium, and Miami may not be very good some of these years, and you're going to have a lot of empty seats. Like, I've seen it, right? I mean, for big games, the fans show up. When the team is better, the fans show up. But if Miami's struggling, and if you have an opponent nobody cares about in town, then, yeah, you're going to have a lot of empty seats, okay? I've seen it. I've seen it at Florida Panthers games. I've seen plenty of games where a team not from Canada or not from New York is not in town, and the Panthers aren't very good. There's a lot of empty seats at the BB&T Center. So I'm not saying that South Florida is some hardcore, we show up to everything no matter how bad our team is town. No, we're not. It's a bit of a front-running town, but some of these jokes about the Heat attendance, they get really tired and really inaccurate because, guys, I've been going to Heat games for practically my entire life. Now, I don't really remember, what it was like prior to the Pat Riley era, but for the vast majority of the Riley era, especially, since the Dwayne Wade era, the Miami Heat attendance, some of the best in the NBA. Like, people show up. And if you've ever been to Heat games, you know the drill. That, Yeah, sometimes either for cultural reasons, because we don't necessarily show up to things on time in South Florida, or just for goddamn traffic reasons, because you try to get to a 7:30 Heat game. If you leave work at 5 and you go straight to the game, you get to that Biscayne Boulevard downtown traffic, and no matter how hard you try, you may not be able to get to your seat till 8:15, 8:30, right? And God forbid you stop at concessions before you go to your seat. You're waiting in line another 25, 30 minutes for that. So, yeah, people look at, it's tip-off, and I see some empty seats in the lower level. Oh, my God, nobody shows up to Heat games. But, dude, I've been to enough Heat games in my life. Crowds show up. The Heat fans are fine. There's not an issue there. There's not. And yet people still keep taking cheap shots. I don't know how Joy Taylor tolerates this, because she's our girl, I thought. She loves South Florida. Colin Cowherd tweets out last night, well, Miami still leads the NBA in something, he tweeted. Top front-running fan base will make more noise on Twitter than in their arena tonight. Okay. I get your shtick, Cowherd. I get your shtick. You like poking at Miami fans. You like getting a response out of them. I hope there's not a Heat fan on planet Earth that takes anything Colin Cowherd says seriously. This is the same guy that early last season was having a discussion on his national radio show about the Miami Heat, and he didn't know who Bam Adebayo was. And this was last season. We're not talking Bam's rookie year where he may have missed Bam getting drafted. We're talking about the start of last season. He didn't know who Bam Adebayo was. Didn't know he existed. Joy Taylor said Bam, and he's like, well, what do you mean Bam? What do you talk? What does Bam mean? What is that? He had no idea that's a human being who plays for the Miami Heat, and it's pretty good. He had no clue. So I hope nobody takes the opinion seriously of a guy who does not watch this team. He's probably never even been inside that arena, has no idea, and he's going to poke fun at the fan. Front-running fan base. And listen, he actually gave you a backhanded compliment when he talked about Heat Twitter, because Heat Twitter is pretty savage. You don't want to get on the wrong side of an argument with Heat Twitter. They will let you have it, man. Cap for Life writes in, South Florida is the devil's playground. Why the hell do the Miami Heat have mustard-colored jerseys, but we can't trade for James Harden? Do the two of those factors have anything to do with one another? I don't understand how that's a sentence, Cap. I don't understand how you form a sentence where you say, why the hell do the Miami Heat have mustard-colored jerseys, but we can't trade for James Harden? Those are two separate points you can make. Is he making a joke about Harden being fat? Is that what he did there? You know what? I underestimated your intellect, sir. Cap, I apologize. So if you're making a condiment joke about chunky James Harden, how you've got mustard-colored you know what the problem, I think, is? Mustard is not that unhealthy. I mean, if your jerseys looked like a pizza, you had little pepperonis on the jersey, he would have come here 1,000%. Right? I think that might be the issue. Mustard is one of the actual healthier condiments. Dangerous condiment as well. We all remember World War I, right? Mustard gas was a thing. So you got to respect mustard. You don't want to use mustard improperly. Cap for Life says, I've been living here forever. I can honestly say the bandwagon Heat fans, not the real ones. Make that clear. They are the most laziest, and they don't know how to sit down for a whole game during the NBA Finals. Listen, yeah, there are bandwagon fans, but then there's also the real ones, man. They're the real ones, and sometimes you find the real Heat fans are the ones in the upper level, 300s and the 400s. The lower level, those are, the Instagram models, and the tech. People who make money on things that are borderline legal are the ones that pay all the money for the lower level tickets, right? Dudes who dudes who sell supplements are the ones who sit in the lower level. 844-416-8123. We'll wrap up the four. I think we might just roll this right into the 5 o'clock hour, right? I'm massacring the format here. I get worked up when Colin Cowherd is talking crap about the South Florida fan. Get a clue, dude. Plus, You live in Los Angeles, it's kind of the same thing. I get news for you. Like, you have the same types of fans there. I give credit to, markets like Chicago and Boston and even New York, although they better show up in New York because there's so many people there, like so many people packed into that tight space. Like, there's only so many places you can go. So, like, you're going to go to a Knicks game by accident. Like, there are only so many places to go when there are that many people living in a city. Like, I don't know, man. Hey, start your morning every day at 8 a.m. with Toasted Sports. Toast covers all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. So download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Toasted Sports, 8 to 10 a.m., only at OnSideRadio.com.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodiasDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moodias family. Dr. Moodias is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodiasDental.com.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the Radio.net app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Hey, it's Toast. Last year when I had PGT custom windows and doors installed at my house by B&T Windows and Doors, I knew about the hurricane protection. What I didn't know? The silence. Oh my goodness, my house is so quiet now. One of those cars goes tearing down the street with the crazy loud muffler. Yeah, I don't hear it anymore. It's unbelievable. I didn't realize how noisy my house was beforehand. You've got to get PGT custom windows and doors installed in your pad today. Call B&T Windows and Doors, 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
When you're tired of watching the sun damage your furniture or raise your electric bill, it's time to do what we did here at OnSideRadio.com studio. Call a Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise. A Shade Above Window Fashions has a great selection of blackout shades to choose from. We can almost create a complete blackout for your bedroom or media room. Call them at 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashion.
Miami Dolphins fans can always count on the best coverage at OnSideRadio.com. Every week, keep up with your favorite team as Dolphins writer Omar Kelly joins us with exclusive reports. And when news breaks, catch the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans everywhere, OnSideRadio.com. You're listening to the flagship station of Inter Miami CF, OnSideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at OnSide Radio.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of OnSide Radio, ownership, management, sponsors, website, or Inter Miami Marketing, LLC.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, 5 o'clock hour here, a Man of the Match with Alex Dono. I'm Alex Dono, and I'm with you guys here on OnSideRadio.com until 6 o'clock tonight. 6 o'clock is when we're going to hand it off to Stephen D. on Miami Sports Music for the fans. Tomorrow is going to be an experience here at Drive Pink Stadium. I'm sitting here looking out at those pink, black, gray, and white seats. They're calling my name, and they're calling the names of about 18,000 wonderful, wonderful people who will join us here in the stadium to watch Inter Miami CF taking on DC United. Going to be the first game here in the history of Drive Pink Stadium and Inter Miami where we have a full capacity crowd. They haven't had that anywhere on the road or at home to this point, and we're going to have it at home tomorrow. Just win, baby. Just put in the performance the fan deserves, right? I mean, I was so humbled and thrilled to see the photos of what looked like several hundred Inter Miami supporters who made the trip to Chicago last weekend. They took a big group photo in front of Soldier Field, and unfortunately they had to watch a really, really rough performance in that 1-0 loss. But I think what I love, and it's funny because last segment I was talking about Colin Cowherd, his point about Heat fans being Twitter warriors. All that they do, they're Twitter tough guys. They're front runners. They don't show up to games. Even if you want to try and use that argument, which I don't really think applies to Heat fans, at least not the real ones. Obviously, there's going to be front runners everywhere. Every team has them, right? I mean, I can praise sports fans in places like Chicago and Pittsburgh. They've got front runners as well, right? Like they've got a lot of real fans, devoted fans. Cleveland, I mean, Browns fans have known nothing but misery for the majority of their lives, and yet they still come back for more and more punishment. But it doesn't mean there wouldn't be bandwagon fans. Like the Browns have gotten a lot better. They're more exciting now with Baker Mayfield. You don't think they have bandwagoners? Every team does when you're good. Every team develops bandwagoners. But you want to know you have a good baseline of fans who are going to support you through the hard times. And I guarantee you Inter Miami has that. And I hope we don't have to face a lot of hard times here. They had an uneven season last year. They did sneak into the playoffs. This year I'm expecting them to be a playoff team in the East, even with fewer playoff spots available. But I know that this club, Inter Miami, have fans, especially the supporters groups, Vice City, the Siege, Southern Legion, come hell or high water. Those people will be showing up. They will be singing. They will be chanting. They'll be banging on drums. They'll be letting out the smoke bombs, no matter what form the team is in. Of course, they would prefer the team to be hoisting the MLS Cup. We all would. But no matter what form the team is in, you've got supporters and you've got legions of fans who are going to be there for Inter Miami CF. Because honestly, being a soccer fan, being a supporter of a soccer club, it's a lot more like a religion, I think, than a lot of other sports. Right? And I know that there are obviously some hooligans and some pretty bad people around the world who support certain soccer clubs. But like if you look at like the culture of ultras, like supporters groups for some of the bigger European clubs, some of them don't even really like soccer. Like they just like they're part of this. It's like being an experience. It's like being in a religion. It's like your social group. It's your lifeblood. It's your family. It's all of those things. And when you start to see that mentality develop, hopefully without the bad stuff that sometimes comes with it, and it seems like we've got a great mix of individuals because every member of the supporters groups that I've met down here are great guys and girls who they love soccer and they love the community and they want to support their team. One of my closest friends is a member of one of the supporters groups, and so it's incredible. Like the amount of unconditional, unwavering support that we get from a big faction of Inter Miami fans. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing to behold, man. So I know no matter what form the team is, win, lose, or draw this weekend, the supporters will be yelling and cheering. It's going to be awesome. Oh, man. Dono, focus on Omar Kelly saying that the Miami Dolphins coach doesn't know how to approach men and he gets away with it no problem. What? Because he's what do you mean he doesn't know how to approach men? I don't understand your point. My God. Oh, he says you guys are complaining about Joy Taylor and Colin Cowherd, but you guys are okay with Omar Kelly talking smack about our coach Flores, saying he doesn't know how to coach men. Is that, like, did you hear that? Was that today with Big O? Now, you know I love Omar, and I feel like Omar gets misquoted a lot. Like, did Omar say that Brian Flores doesn't know how to coach men?
No.
That's what I was thinking.
And I'm not saying, like, okay, he did not say those exact words.
Okay.
But I'm trying to remember now if he even referenced anything about coaching men or boys or anything along those words. I don't think they touched on that. It doesn't seem like a Brian Flores thing to say and an Omar Kelly thing to say. Like, I think Omar's smart enough to choose his words on how he describes his team.
Doesn't know how to coach men. I can understand if he said that about Nick Saban. Right, because Nick Saban, like, he knows how to coach boys, doesn't know how to coach men. Like,
that's something to describe a college coach.
Yeah, Brian Flores is no college coach.
No, and I feel like Brian Flores has the respect of the locker room, of his players. But I don't remember anything about Omar Kelly saying anything about coaching. Brian Flores doesn't know how to coach men. Like, no, I don't remember that, but. I don't know, but like now I'm thinking, is there anything going on in that locker room? There's like, what the hell's going on? Like,
and Cap writes again. He says, Omar Kelly says Coach Flores is not a real coach of men, and you guys are not even talking about it. Corporate interest, I tell you, man, hypocrite island. You worried about the wrong media? Like, oh, hypocrite island. I don't know, dude. Put down the blunt, bro. I mean, it's I know it's Memorial Day weekend, but let's not get crazy here. I'm pretty sure Omar Kelly did not say that Brian Flores doesn't know how to coach men. Here's a potential update on Aaron Rodgers. This is really compelling. Mike Florio in ProFootballTalk.com points out Aaron Rodgers could retire for 2021 and then return in 2022. That would be a loophole, right? He could retire for a year. That might be how he frees himself from the Packers. If that were to happen, Aaron Rodgers wins, right? I mean, this would be a great leverage play. If Aaron Rodgers could actually make the Green Bay Packers believe that he would retire in 2021, which is a great loophole for him, right? Because he is contractually bound to the Green Bay Packers, but not if he retires. And if he retires, he just has to stay retired for a year, and then he can come back as a free agent next year. So that would be a workaround, right? So he wants to get traded. And, yeah, the Packers could trade him, and even though he's 37 years old, they're going to get a bounty of assets in return. Like, I believe at least one first-round pick and multiple assets for Aaron Rodgers because he is one of the best to ever do it, and he's the reigning MVP. And I think he's still got a 4 or 5 year window where he can still be an elite quarterback in this league. So the Packers could get something in return for him, but they don't want to deal him. Like, they do not want to deal him. They want to play a game of chicken with Rodgers where – they don't want to budge because they want to convince him your only option is to come back, play for us, let's kiss and make up, right? So if they refuse to deal him, Aaron Rodgers could say, you know what, I'm taking a year off, and then next year I unretire. I'm no longer contractually bound to you. This is interesting. Florio writes, this isn't a report or anything meant to indicate what Rodgers could actually do. No one knows what he will do. In the absence of any information about his intentions, speculation will happen both internally and externally. And one possibility on the radar screens consists of Rodgers walking away from the game in 2021 and then, after the Packers have moved on with Jordan Love or someone else in 2021 and have a plan in place for 2022, returning to it. It would force their hand the same way Brett Favre's return in 2008 did, months after he retired and the Packers pivoted to Rodgers and then drafted Brian Braum in round 2 and Matt Flynn in round 7. Presumably, the Packers could give Jordan Love the chance to become the guy they thought he'd be when they traded up in 2020 to draft him late in round 1. Based on his performance in 2021, the Packers would either be fine with Love or they will have made other plans through free agency, a trade, or the draft. From Rodgers' perspective, the timing of a return would become critical. If he shows up too early, the Packers quite possibly would welcome him back. Beyond a certain point, they won't want to reinstate his $14.7 million salary, his cap charge, his roster spot. Rodgers also would be wise not to wait too long. He'll need a team that will upend its own plans for quarterback in 2022, unless, of course, there's a predetermined destination that is unofficially identified through unofficial communication that technically would constitute tampering, which happens all the time, as we know. If, as it appears, Rodgers won't play for the Packers again, and if, as it appears, the Packers won't be trading him, quitting the game and then coming back once the Packers would be inclined to trade Rodgers becomes a viable option. For now, it's a potential outcome that can't be ignored. So I wonder if that is going to be Rodgers' strategy here. And it's one of these things that would not surprise me if Rodgers' people are going to start planting stories like this, giving information to media guys like Florio, like Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter. That's how you play the game, right? Anytime you see one of these talking heads on TV go on and report something, they're reporting something because they have a source, sometimes multiple sources, okay? And it's not uncommon for sources to use the media to get some sort of leverage, right? To get information out there that they want to be out there. So if there are members of Aaron Rodgers' team, his agents, management, entourage, that want this to get out there that, hey, he is thinking about actually retiring and then maybe coming back later as a leverage ploy, if you get the Green Bay Packers believing that, they may be more inclined to trade him right now. So everything happens for a reason. Every time you see a report, the report comes from somewhere. Oh, Cap for Life says, he said it 2 days ago, bro. You want me to forward you the clip, or do I send it to another reliable source like Ethan Skolnick? So he said it, what did he say it on Toast show? Is that where he said it? Oh my God. I got to hear that before I believe it. We'll see if we can produce that clip, because I'm going to have Omar's back on this one. I think either you misheard him or misunderstood him. Mike No Go Zones writes in, and this is a world traveler. He says, in Europe, many of the soccer ultra groups are pretty much drinking clubs. Yeah, a lot of them aren't even soccer fans. Like the official supporters groups for a lot of clubs, they're like social clubs that follow the team around, and yeah, they're pretty much drinking clubs, man. 844-416-8123 is how you reach us. That's 844-416-8123. Later this hour, in about 10 minutes, we're going to talk with our pal Frank Crivello from Serie A Sit Down. He's also Milwaukee-based. He's a Milwaukee Bucks fan. I'm going to let him rub it in a little bit, all right? Because his team is getting that long-awaited revenge against the Miami Heat for knocking his team out in the bubble last year. So I'll get his take on the way that things have transpired so far in that series. I'll get his take on best burger toppings. It's National Burger today, a National Burger Day today, my friends. I love a blue cheese crumble on my burger. I love some of that secret sauce, which is basically Thousand Island or Russian dressing based. I love fried onion strings on my burger. I love bacon. And if I don't get blue cheese crumble, I love me some pepper jack cheese. Oh my God, it's so good. So freaking good. This kind of annoyed me today. I watched this video produced by NBC Sports. And Chris Sims, and by the way, Chris Sims, former Texas Longhorns quarterback, former NFL quarterback. The highlight of Chris Sims' NFL career was getting his spleen busted when he got tackled. Like, did not have a great career. I remember when he was playing years ago for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, got tackled so hard it ruptured his spleen. He had to have it removed. That's the only thing to me that I remember about Chris Sims' playing career. Now, Sims, this guy is an absolute chooch. So he's doing this countdown. I think he's doing it one by one from 40 to number 1. He's doing a countdown of the top 40 quarterbacks as he sees it in the NFL. The top 40 quarterbacks in the National Football League. You want to know where he has Tua Tagovailoa ranked out of 40? Number 34. That means he has him ranked behind backups. Like he's got Tua. And then I'm watching this video today, and Sims Sims is going on and on because, like, this guy's a fraud. Like, he doesn't want people to hate him and be angry at him. Like, you're coming out and you're saying that in your eyes, Tua is the 34th best out of 40 quarterbacks you're ranking. And, folks, you do the math. There's only 32 quarterbacks starting in the NFL on any given Sunday, any given weekend. And so he's got Tua ranked behind backups. And then he's going on in this video about how he's like, I really like Tua. Like, I really like him. Like, people think I don't like. Well, yeah, of course they think you don't like him. You got to rank 34th out of 40 quarterbacks. You trying to defend yourself for that? I mean, it's crazy. How do you have him ranked behind backups? Like, Alex Aguirre, I know, maybe you're not that impartial because you are a Miami Dolphins fan, but, even for those who were very critical about Tua's rookie season, I mean, to have him ranked as your 34th best quarterback in the league, that's a bit of an insult.
Right? Like, okay, let's put this in matters of, like, other local teams. Tyler Hero's rookie year, I get it. It was phenomenal and stuff like that. But Tua's rookie year, it wasn't as spectacular and it had all the like glamour like Tyler Hero did, but he didn't play bad.
Yeah.
I don't understand these rankings. I just feel like it's like the nice guy thing with Tebow. He's just so likable and he's a nice person that he's easy to rag on, easy to bash.
Yeah, and I love Tebow.
Tebow's a nice guy. So why people hate? How can you hate such a nice guy like that? Because it's easy. You'll find anything you can possibly find to rag on that person, and that's what they're doing to Tua. At the end of the day, he played a rookie year, a very typical rookie year. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't atrocious by any means. It was a very basic, very normal rookie year. And maybe that's what's rubbing people the wrong way. It's like they expected him to come out of the gate strong, forgetting the injuries he's been through, forgetting the team that he was playing with last year. There's a lot of factors that go into this, and I feel like he does not deserve all this criticism. Do athletes deserve criticism? Of course, that's the nature of the game. You're not gonna please everybody. But for him to get all this type of criticism and hate and all this slander, I think it's completely unnecessary. Criticism comes with the game. You got to play through it if you want to last in this game, in any sport you play. You got to play through it. But to give someone all that hate to a person like Tua, for what and not just because of the person he is, but for the way he played, it's messed up. It makes no sense, and that ranking is completely BS. How can you rank a rookie who played better than a bunch of backups did? Pretty much every backup in the NFL. How can you rank him behind the backups?
And by the way, this is a great point by Marla, who texted in. And on top of that, Sims actually previously had Tua ranked 40th, and then moved him up to 34th during the offseason. So, yeah, this is so ridiculous. So earlier in the offseason, he had Tua ranked 40th out of 40, and then without any games having been played in the meantime, he moves him up 6 spots. Like, what is this guy doing? And you had him ranked 40th out of 40. That's an agenda. Like, that's a bias. Like, that's not even objective at that point. Oh, man. Chris Sims. I can't take this guy seriously anymore.
I think Mike Nogones has a suggestion from your Foodie Friday.
Oh, yeah?
In the chat. Here had a fried egg on a burger. That's a good.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. I'm not a fan of it because, call me weird, I'm not a huge fan of runny yolks. Like, I don't know. It's just a preference thing. It's like I don't like pickles. I don't like fried egg burgers.
I've had it before a couple times. It's okay. It gets a little messy though.
It does. Yeah, it's the thing.
It's with the 5 other toppings you mentioned, putting an egg on that's going to be a pretty messy burger. But I'm okay with it.
I don't want to have yolk on my face. All right, we're going to talk with Frank Crivello from the Serie A sit-down when we come back. I'll get his burger topping take. Hey, every Monday, Heat and NBA fans can catch the best hour of basketball talk when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winterman host the Pallet Rack City Inside the Paint Show. They'll react this Monday to the Heat getting swept, by the way. Listen to 2 of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Monday from 10 to 11 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans, OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can now watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Find out why Big O has a face for radio. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. Check this out. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, welcome back into Man of the Match here on Onside Radio. A huge menu of things we can talk about with our next guest, Frank Crivello, who does an awesome job, founder and co-host of the Serie A Sit Down every Sunday night. He and his co-host Richard Carmen do an awesome job. And Frank is also Milwaukee-based. He's a big Bucks fan, so I will allow him to rub it in a little bit now that the Heat are down 0-3 in that series. But, Frank, you are also someone I really trust to tackle the Foodie Friday conversations. Today, sir, it's National Burger Day, and
Yeah.
I wanted to get everyone's take on their favorite burger toppings. What does Frank Crivello's ideal burger look like?
Okay, we assume we have cheese on there already, right?
Yes, but and also, what's your favorite type of cheese on there? Because I don't take that for granted as well.
I mean, I'm flexible. I can go cheddar. I can go pepper jack.
Pepper jack, good call.
Yeah, not much for Swiss. So probably in that range. American cheese, probably in that range for the cheeses. So, but for the toppings, bacon's automatic for me. That's just that goes without saying. I'd probably, I don't go much for ketchup. And actually, it's kind of funny. We were talking with my wife about this yesterday. I actually prefer salsa on my burger.
That's interesting. And I'm with you on not loving ketchup. I take a lot of flack for that because I feel like society is evolving beyond a need for plain ketchup. And a lot of people don't like when I say that.
Yeah, no, there should be no shame in that. And then after that, a little guacamole, a little, onion straws or something in the fried onion family is actually kind of interesting. Kind of go with that haystack style burger. That's always a way to go too. I got to give you a fifth one, don't I? Wow. There's not much you can put on a burger and be disappointed. So Heck, let's go ahead. Let's throw grilled onions. I actually could go for some grilled onions on there too.
Good call. Yeah, I like that, and some of those are very similar to my list because I have blue cheese on my list, but I also have pepper jack as an option as well. Fried onions, I'm right there with you. Bacon, and then another one I put in, and this is like a pretty common thing on a lot of burgers. Everyone calls it something different, but like secret sauce, which is usually some variation of like a Thousand Island or like a Russian dressing. I really enjoy that on there. So yeah, that was my top 5. We're joined here by Frank Crivello on Onside Radio. Frank, your Milwaukee Bucks, they're getting some payback from last year, my friend. My Heat have been a little bit lifeless, but full credit to Milwaukee because they've earned every single game that they've won so far in this series. Like, to you, because I can talk all day about what's different from this Heat team last year to this year, but what are the biggest differences in the Milwaukee Bucks from last season to this season?
Right off the bat, Drew Holiday is a much, much better defender at the point than either Eric Bledsoe or George Hill. And he's an extra guy that can facilitate too. I mean, and I think that the guys on TNT last night made some very good comments about it. It doesn't just have to be Giannis. You can put the ball in Middleton's hands. You can put the ball in Holiday's hands. Until he got hurt yesterday, DiVincenzo was another guy too. So they got all these different guys that can come forward with the basketball. And then when it is Giannis, the old, the wall that Toronto did, and then some of the things that your guys did to an effect last year aren't as effective anymore because you got Middleton and Lopez are hitting their shots this time of year now, and Holiday's also got the ability to shoot from deep, and then they've got guys off the bench that can also shoot from range. So the offense is very hard to defend, and then you have the defensive element of what Drew Holiday can bring to the table. It's made the Bucks a much different team. It's taken them a little while to get going and get it figured out, which is why they ended up as a 3 instead of a 1 or a 2. It's also a small matter of the 76ers maybe being better coached this year and then all the star talent that the Nets put together. But I think this is as good a Bucks team as they've had in the last 3 years.
Yeah, no, and it's showing. It's showing on the court. And listen, like I look at how the Bucks down the road fare against a team like the Brooklyn Nets, who they're going to see here in short order. And obviously, the Nets are capable of outscoring just about anybody, but I trust the Bucks defense a lot more, and I might even give the Bucks edge in that series. How do you see it?
They can guard the big 3. If there is going to be an issue, it's going to be with Brooklyn's 3-point shooters. Whether it's Harden getting in those positions, or even Joe Harris can be a sneaky guy that probably could give the Bucks some problems. But they could have an answer for Irving with Holiday, and I think that they can, to an extent, can have an answer for Durant. It all comes down to how well they can guard the 3-point shot against Brooklyn, and in particularly for me, Harden and Harris as guys that can certainly fill it up and add to the point total for Brooklyn.
So Frank Crivello, like me, passion for soccer and Italian soccer. He hosts the Serie A sit down, and it's just been madness, like pure madness this week in Italy, Frank, with these Serie A clubs. And we'll get to these things, but Max Allegri back at Juventus, Pirlo sacked. Gigio Donnarumma, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, is leaving Milan on a free transfer. And it's been Pazza Inter, Antonio Conte, resigning or terminating his deal by mutual consent. And then, Simone Inzaghi is the new manager of Inter after having apparently verbally agreed to extend with Lazio, changed his mind the next morning. He signs with Inter. It's pure chaos. We'll start with Conte because, and obviously, Frank, I'm very active and I interact on social media with a lot of Inter supporters and people losing their minds, and I get it because Conte, he did a fantastic job leading Inter to a Scudetto last year. But I thought you made a good point on Twitter that that this is not that unsurprising based on Conte, like the way he left Juventus, the way he left Chelsea. That anytime this guy decides to abruptly leave a club, at this point, fans should really not be surprised by it. So did this one surprise you at all, or did you really see this coming despite the Scudetto win?
Given some of the financial stuff that's going on with Inter and some of the stories behind that and whether they're true or whether they're not, it didn't surprise me. It didn't surprise. Conte wants to be backed as much as you can possibly back him.
Yeah.
And if he feels any slight chance of not being given the opportunity to strengthen what he has already built, he's out of there. I mean, he proved it at Juventus, he proved it at Chelsea, and now he's done it here at Inter. And there's talk that Inter is going to have to part with some players, whether it's a book balancing things that I'm hearing. And Conte definitely doesn't want to be around for that. And the stars are aligned perfectly for him right now to take the reins at Real Madrid. Zinedine Zidane just left, and Real Madrid will back Antonio Conte. They've got the resources to do it. So it's pretty much set in stone that he's going to take that. So it didn't necessarily surprise me, given that Inter could potentially go into next season with a squad not as strong as the one that just won the Scudetto. And Conte certainly does not want to be around for that.
Yeah, no, and totally. And if he does, and you're right, it looks like he's going to get that Real Madrid job. And at the end of the day, that's actually a masterful piece of career work by Conte. So I don't know, I don't know if he knew at the time he terminated his deal that Real Madrid was going to become a really realistic. He probably did, have an idea about that. So I can't really argue too much with the way he's handled this. And so it ends up being Inzaghi in. And, people are asking me about how I feel about it. I mean, obviously I'm going to miss Conte, I know that, but I actually think Inzaghi, Simone Inzaghi, is a pretty good fit with Inter, given that he's done a nice job with minimal resources at Lazio, and he also prefers a 3-5-2 formation as Conte did. So assuming the squad is going to be somewhat intact for next year, he's got the personnel to play in his formation.
Yes, he does. And I think that was probably the best that Inter could do for a replacement for Antonio Conte, in my opinion. I'm actually surprised that Simone Inzaghi went with it. I wrote about Inzaghi a few years ago when I was doing my blog, that I found him to be, he's a Lazio lifer. He's been there forever. He has all the job security in the world to have the Lazio job for as long as he wants it. And I just think this came to a point for Inzaghi that he probably felt that I have taken Lazio as far as I possibly can, and without further resources, I can't take them any farther than I am. It's time for a new challenge. It's time for a new project, and this is what and Inter appeals to him, because the personnel's there for him to, as you say, carry on with what he's doing. There'll be some tweaks, but Lazio was maybe a lighter version of Inter. They were always better on the counter. Inter was outstanding on the counter. There's forwards that are capable of goal scoring that they have in place now. Who knows what's going to happen with them? And the characteristics are, maybe a higher level Lazio than what he's worked with. So, from a personnel standpoint and what you have in place, it completely makes sense. I think any other manager, you would have had to completely restructure the squad, and go through some growing pains for those first 10 to 12 match days. Where you fall behind a little bit until it gets figured out and you're trying to rally to get back into the top four. So this was a good natural replacement by Inter. Just surprised me to see Inzaghi walk away from a club that he seems to have been at his whole life.
Same, especially like the way that it went down, because if he had agreed right away, it wouldn't have surprised me as much. But then, he verbally agreed to extend with Lazio, and then, all the Lazio news sites are saying it's done. He's here till 2024, and then he changed his mind the next day. So it was pretty shocking the way it went about. But I want to get on to the next big story. You support and cover AC Milan, and Gianluigi Donnarumma is one of the best keepers, best young keepers, no doubt, one of the best keepers, period, in the world. He's leaving the club. They already got his replacement in Magnan, who's pretty good. But Donnarumma, elite. He's leaving the club on a free transfer, and his agent Mino Raiola is just is a monster, really. But how do you feel about because the unfortunate thing about it, Frank, is and saving serious wages, but it's never fun, to lose a homegrown player without a transfer fee, because if he had been sold, it would have, I'm sure, commanded a big fee. So how do you feel about losing Donnarumma, and where do you think he ends up? Could it be Juventus?
I've always, and I heard this from someone a long time ago. I support the shirt.
Yep.
And I support the players who are currently in the shirt. So I was happy that Paolo Maldini took a stand against what was some really, really extreme leveraging on the part of Mino Raiola. I think that this was, and many Milan people will tell you, that this was a slippery slope that started with the Chinese when they owned Milan, and you had Fassoni and Mirabelli in place, and they were able to negotiate getting Donnarumma paid €6.5 million a year. Well, now there's new management in place. Maldini's in town. They're trying to get away with the same stuff.
Yeah.
At $8 million a season is more than generous for Donnarumma. And, and Maldini asked Donnarumma straight up, do you want this extension? And Donnarumma says, I do what Raiola tells me. And Maldini says, well, that's great. I'm going to move on. And good on Milan to have the foresight, good on Maldini to have the foresight to have that plan B in place immediately, that they could pounce and they could move right away. Mm-hmm. In the end, it's a bad look for Donnarumma and Raiola. It's smart business from Milan because it would have only been a 2-year extension and we would have gone through this circus again.
Yeah.
With even more money involved. So I would say over the next 5 years, by signing Maignan, they have probably saved themselves somewhere in the neighborhood of €100 million, not having to deal with this. And they can just use that to reinvest, re-sign players that they've got. Now for Donnarumma, a lot of people think it's Juventus, but we forget Juventus have a player under contract there in Wojciech Szczesny that they got to figure out. And he was a pretty darn good goalkeeper last time I checked too.
Yeah.
So it would not be surprising to me if he went to Juventus. But the more realistic thing for me from a financial standpoint and clubs that can afford him is a move overseas. Barcelona can take him on a free. Barcelona's trying to sign people for free right now because they don't have the transfer budget.
Yeah.
PSG might be the other team that can afford this kind of wage demand and paying Raiola the commission that he wants. So if it's not Juve, I could see Barcelona or PSG being in play for Donnarumma's signature this summer.
Yeah, and to pick up on something you said, I saw that what he said to Maldini, that I do what Raiola tells me. That's his agent. Like, I hope every fan sees through that, because that's a real clown statement. Because, and I know he's young and a little bit naive and he's getting manipulated, but everyone needs to understand agents work for players. He is Raiola's boss, not the opposite. And I've seen plenty of players over the years, if they're not happy with their agent or they feel like their agent is not negotiating in good faith and they want to stay at a certain club or move to a certain club and their agent can't get it done, you fire that agent, you find someone who can get it done. So I hope nobody is buying the excuse of, I do what my agent tells me, because let's not pretend that Raiola is his boss. It's the other way around.
Exactly. And I've to pay $20 million to an agent who's not even going to kick a ball for the club is just ludicrous. I'm glad Maldini made the move that he did. No player is worth to me those kind of demands.
Last thing I had to get with you, because this I think is going to have a big impact not only in Italy but potentially in Europe when we think about 2 Champions League finals that he got his team to. Max Allegri back at Juventus, it's massive, and obviously Juventus took a couple steps back this past year under Andrea Pirlo, who just was really not ready to be a coach of a big Serie A club, or maybe any Serie A club at that point with zero experience. Allegri back, does that suddenly make Juventus the favorites in Italy in your mind, and maybe even a team that could make some more noise in Europe?
As I was thinking about that appointment, and I just sat there, the only thing I could think of was if you were going to beat Juventus, at least domestically, this past season was the time to do it.
Yep.
Allegri is going to have the team far more structured, far more efficient, far more workmanlike. Under Allegri, if Juve were winning 2-0, the game was pretty much over. You weren't coming back. where it was open under Sadi and under Pirlo, it was open season or you were scoring first or things like that. I think that Allegri's going to come in and he's going to shore up a lot of that. A lot of this is also going to depend on how the squad is restructured. Does Donnarumma come in? What do you do with Ronaldo? You and I have talked about, I think they should sell him and balance this squad out and try to get some depth so that they can compete on multiple fronts. So Allegri was a massive piece in Juventus's resurgence in Serie A. On that, they're probably the favorites going into next season, considering that you're probably going to see Inter taking a step back. Milan is it's amazing that we're going through all of this, and Milan is sitting here being the only team of continuity and stability.
Yeah.
At this point. Atalanta as well. It's all in what Juve does in the summer to structure their squad, and if they can give Allegri some reinforcements, certainly I think I could see picking them and making them the favorites here for next season for Serie A, and then what they do and how they restructure the squad will determine how far and what kind of damage they can do in Europe.
Well, really good stuff here as always. We appreciate your insight. Frank Crivello does an awesome job with his co-host Richard Carmen on the Serie A sit-down on Sunday evenings. Follow him on Twitter at FTC_21. Frank, thank you so much, and enjoy your weekend coming up.
Great stuff. Have a nice weekend.
You too, man. Good stuff there from Frank Crivello. We continue till 6 o'clock here on Onside Radio. Hey, the fans support the teams. They buy the jerseys and the tickets, but they never get the love they deserve on sports radio. OnsideRadio.com changes that with Miami sports music for the fans. It's the show driven by Stephen D., representing Miami sports fans around the world. Tune in every night from 6 to 7 p.m. as Stephen D. and fans around the world drive to talk about your favorite South Florida sports teams. OnsideRadio.com is dedicated to the Miami sports fan.
The man of the match with South Florida's own Alex Dono. Weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. on the home for Inter Miami football. OnSideRadio.com.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Get the brutal honesty every day with the Onside Zone with a Big O from 12 noon to 3 p.m. every weekday on your home for sports talk in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
Miami Heat lost to the Milwaukee Bucks 113-84 last night. Jimmy Butler had 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. And now the Heat are down 3-0. They play tomorrow at 1:30, Game 4. Tip-off. It's at 1:30. Also in the NBA, the Lakers take a 2-1 lead on the Suns with a 109-95 win, and the Nuggets are up 2-1 on the Trailblazers after a 120-115 victory. The Miami Marlins failed to reach the 500 mark once again, losing yesterday to the Phillies 3-2. Yimi Garcia picked up the loss. The Marlins are now 12-12 at home this season and now travel to Fenway Park for a weekend series against the Boston Red Sox. Cody Poteet will be on the mound tonight. First pitch is at 7:10. Tomorrow night, right here at Drive Pink Stadium, a full-capacity crowd will watch Inter Miami CF take on DC United. Inter Miami CF pregame shows with Big O and Alex Dono starts at 7 p.m. and the call of the game with Eric Krakauer, Thomas Rognan, and Fernando Fiori at 8 p.m. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station. Coming up, it's more Man of the Match with Alex Dono right here at OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk.
When you're tired of watching the sun damage your furniture or raise your electric bill, it's time to do what we did here at OnsideRadio.com studio. Call A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise. A Shade Above Window Fashions has a great selection of blackout shades to choose from. We can almost create a complete blackout for your bedroom or media room. Call them at 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashion.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Welcome back in, Man of the Match. Going to take you up until Stephen Daniels. Miami Sports Music for the Fans, 6 to 7 o'clock tonight, and every single weeknight, my friend. Steven's going to get your weekend officially started. And a long weekend. We will be on Monday, by the way. So Monday is going to be a regular day for us here on Onside Radio. Maybe a long weekend for you. That's just more of an excuse to listen to us all freaking day on Monday. Toast 8 to 10 in the morning. Kai Chen Chisholm on Kai's Corner, 10 to noon. Big O is back, noon to 3 p.m. on the Onside Zone. Meet from 3 to 6. Stephen D going to round off your night 6 to 7 o'clock. It's going to be awesome. So, this makes sense to me. I'm happy to see this. Still don't know for sure if he makes the team, but ESPN's Diana Rossini said on Get Up, she basically confirmed something that Ian Rappaport said last month, that Urban Meyer envisions Tim Tebow in a similar role to the one that Taysom Hill plays with the New Orleans Saints. So he's not strictly going to be a tight end. You could see him as a utility guy and a wildcat quarterback as well. And, I'm not always a big fan of those gimmicks. It's worked okay for Taysom Hill. The wildcat was a lot of fun in like 2008, right? I mean, oftentimes if you have to be bringing on a wildcat quarterback, it means, you're I don't know how good that's going to be, good or bad, for Trevor Lawrence's development. Maybe for the first year, it might not be the worst thing in the world to have a guy to be able to take a bit of pressure off of him for a few plays here and there. But at the same time, you just drafted a thoroughbred. He kind of looks like a horse, which helps that argument a little bit. But you just drafted somebody who's a generational freaking quarterback. And, obviously when he's 2, 3, 4 years into the league, it would be a joke to have someone come in and line up at quarterback and be taking snaps away on a regular basis from Trevor Lawrence. Maybe in the rookie year, that's not the worst thing in the world. I'm not really a fan of it. I would rather it be the Trevor Lawrence show. But, Urban is going to do whatever he can to get playing time and to carve out a role with his bosom buddy, Tim Tebow. So maybe this is now Urban's idea. But again, there's not any guarantee that they decide through training camp and preseason that this actually works. So if Tebow is not up to the task, and ultimately his 8 years away from football are just not enough for him, that he hasn't done enough in the meantime to still stay relevant as an NFL player, he could get cut. But yeah, why I'm not surprised to hear that Tebow could be used as a Taysom Hill type of guy was his true freshman year at Florida. That's essentially what he was. I mean, you remember, Tebow was part of Urban Meyer's first title at Florida. Second title was all Tebow. But the first title that Urban won at Florida, Chris Leak was the starting quarterback, but Tebow got a lot of action as a Taysom Hill type. Wildcat quarterback would come in to give a different look, would get a few snaps here and there. So that's been a part of Tebow's resume. That if you were to see Tebow play that sort of a role as kind of a wildcat change of pace type of quarterback, it would not be the first time. He played that role his first year at Florida when Chris Leak was the primary starting quarterback. So that has worked for Tebow before, a very long time ago. Like what year was that? Like 2006, 2007? So it's been a minute. But Tebow has played that role before in an Urban Meyer offense, so it's not surprising. I just think that, and Chris Leak was not really that great of even a college starting quarterback, so it kind of made sense to have Tebow be a part of that. But you've just drafted Trevor freaking Lawrence, so I really don't know if that's a good idea to take rhythm and snaps away from him in favor of old Tebow. So I don't know if I like that one. Ooh, you know what I realized, Alex? I don't think I officially stepped in to the round table. Now, I did touch on this a little bit. What disappointed you most about the Heat loss last night? Is there someone to blame, or was this team overrated coming off last year's bubble run? Yeah, Pat Riley failed the Miami Heat more than the Miami Heat failed Pat Riley. He got complacent. What happened to this team in these first 3 games of this series, it's not officially over, but it's over. They're not going to come back down 3-0. No one has ever done that in the NBA. 140-0 are teams that take a 3-0 lead to start a playoff series in that league. The Heat are finished. They're finished. I wish that in the first 2 games we'd gotten more out of Jimmy. I wish we'd gotten more out of Bam throughout this series. I wish that Goran Dragic and Dwayne Dedmon and then last night Nemanja Bjelica weren't your best players. Like this team is failing, but Pat Riley failed them. Opportunities he had in the offseason to make this team better, to turn Tyler Hero into a trade chip instead of pretending like he's elite when he's a 7th or 8th man in this league. That was an error on Pat Riley's part. And listen, you can talk about the bubble last year. They overperformed in the bubble. Yeah, the bubble run made Riley complacent. The bubble run made Pat Riley believe he could turn a finals team last year, essentially the same group, could turn that into a finals winner in the future. And we've taken 3 steps back. I heard Ira Winderman say it today on these airwaves, and he's 1,000% right. No one on this team, not named Jimmy and Bam, are untouchable. Everyone else is expendable. So I expect this roster to get blown up. And it's something Riley probably should have already done. A year late and $1 short. But yeah, could the players have done better? Absolutely. But I'm putting most of the blame on Pat Riley because he should have known who this team was before this playoff run even started. All right, we're going to bring on our guy Stephen D for some crosstalk when we come back. Hey, start your morning every day, 8 a.m. with Toasted Sports. Toast covers all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. So download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Toasted Sports, 8 to 10 a.m. only at OnSideRadio.com.
The man of the match with South Florida's own Alex Dono. Weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. on the home for Inter Miami football. OnSideRadio.com.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Coming up next, we got the newest show here on Onside Radio. Our guy Stephen D takes you into Miami sports music for the fans tonight and every weeknight from 6 to 7 o'clock. Stephen, I'm so excited for a weekend coming up, a holiday weekend. How are you, my friend? You have any big happy hour plans, big weekend coming up?
Yeah, hanging out with my kids and just absolutely doing nothing that involves radio for like a couple of days.
No question about that, man. So, it's a little bit of a post-mortem today. That was just a really lifeless, kind of embarrassing showing from the Miami Heat last night. So I hope you can bring up my spirits. Can I count on you for that tonight?
Dude, you can always count on me. You want to know why? Because the guest I have on today is one of the coolest, most kindest, most gracious individuals to roam the Dolphin fans' hallways known as Hard Rock Stadium. Mr. Big Papa Pump.
Oh, what a guy. Oh, yes. That's going to be good. Oh, man. Wow. So you guys are going to cover everything Miami Dolphins. Tell Big Papa Pump I say hello. I'm a big fan of his.
He's listening right now, so he can hear you.
Beautiful, dude. That is so cool. Well, Big Papa Pump, you have a fan right here, man. I know it's going to be an excellent show. Stephen D, Miami sports music for the fans. And like I always tell people, Steve, the weekend does not officially start until you sign off at 7 o'clock here on a Friday night. So have a wonderful show, my friend, and knock it out of the park with Big Papa.
Love you, brother. I appreciate it. You have a good weekend, too. Be safe. Enjoy the family.
Awesome stuff. So it's coming up, Miami sports music for the fans. Hey, Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m., Seamheads have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
Whoa!
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of On-Side Radio ownership, management, sponsors, website, or